This is the Melbourne Cricket Ground on ANZAC Day. Welcome live around Australia, exclusively on 7 Sport. We believe it's a lockout. People still outside the ground with the game about to start between Collingwood and Essendon. So the crowd inside is something like 90,000 in this game, which completes round 4 of the season. We've still got 5 months to go to the finals. 90,000 here, and there is Essendon, unbeaten after 3 rounds. They're playing Collingwood, who haven't had a win in 3 rounds. And unfortunately, both teams have some players out injured, so there'll be some last-minute changes. Sean Denham plays his 100th game. Not all for Essendon, because he started his career at Geelong. Well, what a game this should be. And Melbourne, apart from the ANZAC Day march, has come to a standstill this afternoon for this game. Let's take a look at the AFL ladder as it stands, and you can see the relative positions of the sides. Essendon up there undefeated with 3 wins out of 3, and down the bottom, 3 from the bottom, Collingwood still looking for their first victory of the season. With me, former AFL Coach of the Year, Terry Wheeler, and if you don't feel a buzz today, Wheels, you never will.
Drew, this has got to be the biggest home and away game for the season. It's a tremendous atmosphere here, isn't it?
Absolutely incredible. And the ANZAC spirit will be needed to be found by Collingwood, because they desperately need a win.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they're missing some very experienced players. There's Gary Pert and Brad Rowe making their way into the grandstand, but also Tony Francis, Scotty Russell. But they are able to welcome back into the side, and being led out here by Gavin Brown, they're able to welcome back into the side their very big, strong man in Damien Munkhurst. Damien Munkhurst has been an excellent player for the Collingwood Football Club, and his presence today will be very important for them, Drew. His return will emphasise the strength that Collingwood may be able to produce within the midfield. He'll give them first use of the ball. He's been a very consistent player right throughout for them. The last 3 years he's been their 3rd best and fairest player, and has played in excess of 60 games during that particular side. Dermot Brereton, his 2nd game for Collingwood, and what a fine stage it is for Dermot here this afternoon. The MCG, where he does play his best football, and their captain, Gavin Brown. 150 games, a possession winner in the midfield. He'll do very, very well, I'm sure.
Mark Harvey there on the left, Gavin Wanganeen, Brownlow medalist, and the Essendon lineup.
And Dustin Fletcher, an important acquisition to return to the side, Drew. His height will be very important in the matchup with Severio Rocker at full-back, and his returning from that 1-week suspension is a bonus to Essendon. Michael Long, what a tremendous player he's been, and here on the MCG with the vast spaces on the wing, he's able to use his pace and his skills to really make the benefit of it. And big Stephen Alessio, the first use of the ball out of the centre bounce, his height, his marking, he will be a very important player for them today, Drew.
And wow, is this going to be something? So important for Lee Matthews, who's under a bit of pressure. They talk about, well, how many games can you lose on the trot before maybe you're in a bit of trouble? Well, we'll find out today. Desperation for Collingwood, unbeaten Essendon. We'll be back for the start after a short break. Welcome back to the MCG. Bright and sunny, temperature about 20 degrees expected. Jam-packed, the MCG bulging at the seams. It's like a grand final day. And how about this? Tony Shaw is going to be the Collingwood runner today, because their substantive runner is away on business interstate. Now, Shawry is the man waiting in the wings and may be the next coach. And here he is running for Lee Matthews today. Good afternoon, Collingwood champion, ex-Peter McKenna.
Good afternoon, Drew. Good afternoon, Terry. And will there be some yapping when little Tony gets out there to give the messages? By heck, he'll be just about coaching the side out in the ground.
Well, I reckon it's a good move. If the runner is legitimately away, or perhaps they've sent him away so that he can be out there, but he'll certainly be an extra player out there for them today.
Now, the teams lining up in the middle of the MCG for the ANZAC Day remembrance, and how appropriate. In 1995, 80 years since the landing at Gallipoli, and 50 years since the end of the Second World War. And a huge crowd attended marches around the country today to remember the people who served for us, and the AFL recognises that here today.
In honouring the memory of Australia's brave servicemen and women who gave their lives to protect our freedom, would you please stand for a minute's silence? They shall not grow old as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years to condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Well, the heart's pumping for a nation, remembering our fallen and remembering those who have served. And the hearts amongst players and spectators here at the MCG pumping in anticipation of what should be a real dogfight. Down on the boundary line, former Hawthorn champion Bertie Domenico having a long chat with your former teammate Lee Matthews before the game.
It certainly was, Drew. What an emotional time down here, and I spoke to Lee just before the game. He spent about 20 minutes in the middle of the ground. He's been going through a pretty hard time the last couple of weeks, and has had a bit of a word. He's calm and collected about today. He knows the job the boys have to do, and I think Collingwood will win today, with especially with Buick out of the side, and also Thompson. The bench for Collingwood will start off with Alan Richardson, Scott Burns and Aaron James, and for Cockatoo Collins, also Peter Cransburn and David Grenfell for Essendon. It's an emotional time, Drew.
Yeah, thank you, Dipper. Well, of all the changes to the lineup that we'd had during the day, Cockatoo Collins hadn't been mentioned, but he has turned up there, the number 9.
It's very important for him to be there with the absence of Buick, injured with a shoulder injury last week, and Cockatoo Collins is just the man who can balance out that goal-scoring power that Buick offers the Essendon side, Drew.
Well, there should be some wonderful matchups here today. Maybe Mark Harvey to pick up Dermot Brereton, 2 old heads there. And what about Michael Long and Nathan Buckley if they play on the wing?
Yes, not likely. I think they'll probably put someone on Buckley, one of the stoppers like Denham or O'Donnell. And there's Dermot going down.
And Ryan O'Connor, Peter, I think that's a very good move. I was a bit concerned if Sheedy did move Harvey back to the full back line, they'd lose some of his drive, and so to use O'Connor is good.
And won't this be a great stage for Dermot Brereton with 90-odd thousand people here? He'll love it. And there's Craig Kelly. He's playing fairly well this year. He did well down at Geelong and Billy Brownless. Tough and hard, Craig. He loves the big games.
Essendon have got 3 players loose in defence. They have only got 1 man inside forward 50.
So here we go. And the umpire goes bang, and here it is in the air. Monkhorst versus the big bloke Somerville. It came down towards Buckley of Collingwood, hand passing to right. On the left boot to left half forward, looking for Brereton. Punch forward by the Pies, and here comes mighty Mick McGuan to the roar of the crowd to Rocker. Rocker versus Fletcher, couldn't get it. The hand pass came out from Darcy. Got it out to Red Simons, and Simons to Smokin' Joe Mercedes on the left half-back flank in front of the members stand wearing the gloves. He's got it on to Long, and Long marks it just outside 50. He'll go over the top, putting Simons under pressure from Monkhorst, who kicked it off the ground. And it went over the boundary line and out of bounds, and Long will take his second kick in a matter of moments here. In the first 45 seconds of play on ANZAC Day, no score yet on the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard. Long taking a long time now. Kicks a 47-metre kick that goes down to the wing position. Monkhorst and Kelly went up, and here comes Brown. B-R-O-W-N playing his 150th game, kicks it to the wing, where Smokin' Joe Mercedes takes the mark.
That's his opponent, Rex.
Exactly. So Smokin' Joe Mercedes. Williams standing the mark for Collingwood. They're trying to open it up. In actual fact, he goes back. And this is funny stuff, and the Bombers are going to mark through Oller and Shaw. And they actually kicked it twice to get it back to Oller and Shaw, and they're mucking around with it, but they've still got possession with O'Donnell taking the mark, and they're still on the wing position after McCurry was in on that as well.
Okay, so Gary O'Donnell, it's been a strange opening. Looks for Hurd or Barry Young. Neither can mark. I haven't spotted Chris Danaher yet, Bondi. I'm just trying to help you with that player that might be out.
Chris Danaher or perhaps it's Flood that hasn't come in, but Cockatoo Collins definitely sitting on the bench.
Okay, yeah, the Cocky definitely there on the bench with Peter Kransberg. So some real changes at Essendon. If you joined us late, Buick out of the side, along with Bomber Thompson. Throw in, half-forward flank for the Essendon side. They're attacking up to the punt road end on this gorgeous autumn day in Melbourne.
Peter Daicos makes a very good point. The Essendon backline has 2 extra players on it, Peter. They're running an 8-man backline down there.
It's a game of defences because you've got 2 up the other end, so don't be surprised to have a low-scoring game, especially in this first quarter.
And you might be right with David Flood. I think I've just spotted Chris Danaher out here, Bondi, straight in front of us. So if that is Chris as he turns around, yes it is. It might be David Flood who hasn't come in at all. And I think we've finally got those changes worked out. So in all that time, there was a free kick to Collingwood on defensive 50, taken by Kerrison. Gets it to Kelly, who gets it to right. All handballs, Bondi. And Wright runs off defensive 50 and runs to the back of the square. And then chips short to Buckley out there, who got a little shove. No free kick. Might be a turnover as Gary O'Donnell goes in. Scrappy start compared to last night. 6 goals in 8 minutes by Richmond. Wanganane's got it now. He's on the wing. Drives looking for Hurd, who's got 2 to beat. Ball comes to the ground. Denham and Wright are going at it. Denham in his 100th game gets there first. Wheels round, chips short, good pass. And O'Donnell's marked within kicking range. The left footer is going to kick from right on 50 and directly in front. Here's Peter Daicos looking at the tactics of this game, this big one on ANZAC Day.
Well, it's certainly Collingwood's ploy to leave 2 Essendon players in Harvey and Darcy back on the Essendon defensive line, and really it hasn't worked out too well for them. Okay, it's really a game of defences, but they've just been found out. 3 Collingwood players running for the ball, 1 Essendon player in Denham being able to win it, swing back onto his left and find O'Donnell on his own.
Usually a pretty reliable left footer is Gary O'Donnell, and this is home for the first of the day. The Bombers draw first blood in front of nearly 90,000. It might be a ground record here. Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard, 1-0. Here's Sam Newman on 3RW footy.
Well, as Peter Daicos said, that was a marvellous piece of play by Sean Denham. He wasn't phased. He kicked that ball between 2 Collingwood opponents, pinpointed it to O'Donnell, just gave him a chance, and there's no doubt Gerard Neesham's influence with the Fremantle side has rubbed off on both coaches, because both sides have kicked the ball back towards the opposition goal on several occasions so far.
Knocked out by Somerville, and here come Collingwood. Hassel goes to the half forward, goes inside. Red Simons of Essendon, nearly cleaned up by Dermott. He got it across to Long. Long got it out to McCurry. McCurry out to the wing position. What a beautiful interception by John Hassel on O'Donnell, has got it. He goes inboard and gets it to Buckley. Buckley now runs inside and goes long to Rocker by Baby. He spilled it. Over the top is Fletcher. Hand pass out. Play on, said the umpire. Rocker over the top. Ollerenshaw in close contention. And the umpire, Andrew Coates, will bounce it on left half forward for Collingwood.
Notice Dermot Brereton there when Collingwood got it on the wing, made a terrific lead, ignored. It was kicked straight into the centre of the ground, I think, by, in fact, Hassel. Maybe taking a while to come to grips with the way Dermot Brereton plays premiership football for Hawthorn.
Well, Sam, Collingwood have never been known to direct the ball. Their style of play is kicking in the air, so if that's Dermot's case, he's going to find it hard.
Somerville thumped it as good as a kick. It came out to Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Couldn't pick it up, Mercury. But it was gone beautifully to Buckley. Got it to Wright. Right on centre wing. Kicked it inside 50 towards Rocker. My baby!
Terrific mark.
In the treetops for that one. When the wind blows, the football will go into his mitts. And good luck to you, Rockabye, baby. The big Savaloy. He's given those gloves to the Salvation Army where they should go. And I can tell you now that Rocker has a chance to put one on the board. You reckon there was an Essendon roar with the O'Donnell goal a few moments ago. The big Savaloy will bring the house down for Collingwood if he can put this one in. He's at 54, 3, 2, 47 metres in front, and goal to Collingwood! Magnificent start to a real good contest here at the MCG. Collingwood a goal, Essendon a goal, 6.5 minutes, Channel 7 tonight's scoreboard.
I don't want to overemphasise the importance of Brereton, who has actually done nothing so far, but he single-handedly held out Fletcher and O'Connor there, did the bulk of the work to allow Rocker to come over the back and take a terrific mark.
Thanks, Sam. There's the bounce in the centre. Monkhurst jumping very hard at Big Alessio there. Mercedes gets first possession though, breaks away from Walker and drives down to centre half forward Alessio and Christian. Nearly Alessio, in the end it rebounds to McGuan. He's just backward of centre. Hand passes to a pretty busy Graeme Wright earlier, who's had the better of Ollerenshaw, but this time the kick's disappointing. And out on the full for Chris Danaher to take the resultant free kick. He's just behind centre wing on the southern stand side. Plenty of sunshine now on this beautiful autumn day. It's going to come back though. Looks like Graeme Wright might have been dealt with injudiciously as he kicked. It's what the umpires decided. And Wright's got the free for the Magpies. Searching kick. Down to attacking 50. Somerville floated across the top of Lee Walker and took a lovely mark. Got a nice lead from Mercury, who gets out in front this time of Graeme Wright. Takes the mark. Slings right away with a wild right fist. And now delivers short. He'll be looking down here for Alessio, but he couldn't find that player.
Elliot Ness came through. Watson hand pass. Mighty Mick McGuan got it onto Kerrison. Burst left half back into the centre. A long kick went inside 50. Down there, Rocker high as you like. Brown hand passed it onto Williams on the left boot. Goal. Magnificent play, Gary Bush. This is superb football, Anzac Day. Magnificent goal to Collingwood, and here they come at 2 straight goals, 12. And Essendon 1 straight goal, 6. Channel 7 scoreboard. Peter Daicos and Sam Newman.
Well, Peter, Darcy gone down to full forward for Essendon. Now Kelly's gone to full back, so some early changing there, because I had a feeling Young was down there at the start of this game.
Correct, Sam, and I think looking at the game, Sam, it really is a tight contest. There's not going to be a lot of free running in this game, and I think it's going to get down to really the supreme side in the air.
So the tap down comes from Somerville, but well won there from Collingwood's Brett James. Big high kick, Brereton and Rocker leap Harvey. Oh, he ran into a very tough tackle. Rebounds for the Magpies. Terrific snap for goal there from Chris Curran. Boy, we haven't seen much of before. And it's a point. So young Curran takes Collingwood to 2-1-13. Essendon a goal. That's on the Channel 7 tonight's scoreboard. We've gone 9 minutes of the first quarter. An absolutely packed house if you've joined us late. Anzac Day 1995. 19-20 degrees, not a lot of breeze, and a beautiful day as the Bombers chip short to Rick Ollerenshaw at the kick out.
Ollerenshaw on his southpaw and gets it out to Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Back with a bang this year, the big man. Mercedes left half back, low trajectory, kick to Hurd. Magnificent anticipation by Krasiska. Behind was Hurd and took the mark and kicked it centre half forward. Looking down there, Alessio can't take it. Mercury burst at 60, ran to 48 and went bang. Magnificent play, Mercury, to get another one back for the Bombers. It's all good stuff here as Essendon to 2 straight goals, 12. Collingwood 2-1-13, lead by a point. Channel 7 today, tonight's scoreboard.
Well, Christian doing the right thing there. He jumped between Alessio and Young and punched the ball away. But no scouts for Collingwood, because Essendon swept on that ball, punched away by Christian, anticipating that that's what a backman would do, and the rest history.
Interesting tagging job for Mark Fraser on Mick McGuan out there. I wonder how Fraser will be feeling today, Sam, as Somerville gets the tap down. First possession away, Buckley bursts out of the centre, long kick, Brereton got a hand on it, couldn't take the mark, Long bursts away and kicks to a sea of red and black on the centre line. First there was Simons, got a shove, free kick. Now advantage, Olorenshaw forward of the centre, has got Hurd on his own at 50. Hurd's taken the mark, he can go short to Fraser here if he wants to. It's an open goal, he sized the option delightfully and it's home. James Hurd, one of the true Rolls Royces of the competition. Essendon 3 straight, Collingwood 2-1. Here's Sam Newman on the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard.
Well, maybe we're making a bit much out of it, Peter, but I thought that Sheedy has bamboozled the Collingwood backs. He's put Darcy down to full forward. Young started there, Watson on Young. Kelly's on Darcy, and Krasiska went on to Hurd at centre half forward. So I think they're taking a while to come to grips with what's going on down there.
Exactly, the matchups have been made hard, but let's just mention James Hurd. Very important, a centre half forward, making himself available. On 2 occasions he's done that, 2 goals for Essendon.
Umpire Pfeiffer put it down and Monkhorst grabbed it. Or tackled by Denham and Exley. He has nodded in agreement with the umpire. Harvey kicks it out to the right wing position. Here we go. Fraser of Essendon, formerly Collingwood, grabs it. Now does a nice job and goes towards Hurd. Punched from behind by Krasiska. It came out to Olorenshaw, burst through the pack and hand passed inboard Chris Danaher from 55 metres. Here's there, Somerville is marked in the goal square. He marked it, the ball was then punched away, but he certainly controlled the football, Somerville, with the gloves. And from point-blank range can put Essendon's 4th goal on the board. Sammy.
Yeah, well, I'll agree with that decision. That's you can't get much closer to being not paid a mark, but that was definitely a mark. He did hold it, and then it was punched away in a millimetre, if that is an area of time as a chain, or is that an area of measurement?
We'll pay it, Sammy.
Well, millisecond he held that
right.
ball for, but that was definitely a mark, as Rex called in the gloves.
And here is Somerville at the Punt Road end of the stadium in beautiful bursting sunshine here through the clouds. Boo, says the crowd. Somerville says, I'll fix it up, and goes bang. So Essendon on fire at the moment on 4 straight goals, 24 points. Collingwood at 2-1-13. 12, nearly 13 electrifying minutes gone. Channel 7 scoreboard.
What do you reckon, Peter?
Well, it's been a great start, 13 minutes and we've got 6 goals. Give me more, Sam.
And Long down playing Long playing on the half-back line, so perhaps an unusual position for him there, but of course the great advantage is that they can swing him anywhere because he's so versatile.
It's a real running half-back line, Sam. Long, Harvey, Wanganeen.
Yeah.
Creative, very creative.
So here's the bounce in the centre from umpire number 6, Andrew Coates. Puts it down right now. And it looks like Alessio's beaten by Monkhurst. First hands on the ball, Olorenshaw couldn't take it cleanly. Went to Monkhurst, who looked for Williams, but Long beat him. Brought it to the ground where Mercedes got first hands. Has the handball intercepted. Williams is away. Chased here by Darcy. Gives it to Buckley inside 50. 30. Yes. Beautiful goal, Nathan Buckley. From a brilliant intercept back here on 50. Oh, this is a great start. As good a start as last night. At least the goals are being shared today. 3 goals, 1 Collingwood, 4 straight Essendon on the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard.
I think Peter Buckley is the man Collingwood would be really looking to, besides Brereton, to fire this side up, because he's had an indifferent year so far, but definitely a start.
Has been up and down and certainly is the key. The other key is Williams, and he's been able to kick a goal and have a hand in another goal, and that was Buckley's goal just then.
He's on fire there, Williams. You're right on the ball there, Macedonian man. Knocked out by Alessio. Mighty Mick McGuan versus Fraser. McGuan might be pinged. Play on said the umpire. No, I reckon McGuan is going to be pinged for throwing the football. Fraser's got it. Now goes on Young. Young marks right half forward. Punt road end. Turns on the 50-metre line. Puts it in. Here's Somerville and Christian. The disciple couldn't get it. The hand pass came out. Oller and Shaw. Play on said the umpire. The Oller and Shaw hand pass went Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Mercedes has gone behind the stick with a very good effort. Offside, check side kick for our 5AA listeners. And Essendon 4-1-25 become now 1 goal in front of Collingwood 3-1-19.
Very tough tackle on Rick Oller and Shaw then by Christian, as a matter of fact, and maybe a little high, but if they keep umpiring in the spirit of a tough game, we'll all be satisfied.
Let's watch what happens here at the kick out. Oh, Kelly and Buckley got in front, couldn't take the mark. Monkhurst tapped across to Buckley. He couldn't take it. Monkhurst grabbed it again, gave it to Kelly. They've almost reached the wing. Now Buckley, hand passes inside, McGuan. They've reached the centre line, Collingwood. This is good play. Now Christian, forward of the centre. Good pass. Rocker's got it. Out on a long lead in front of Dustin Fletcher. He's already taken one spectacular grab as Lee Walker gets rid of Michael Long back there off the footy. Long was racing back to pick up an unmarked Williams. Rocker can kick this. He got a half a dozen last week. He's 50 metres out, not much angle. And I don't think so. Oh, they've gone up. It might have snuck home. Yes. Only just, but it's got in. So dead level. 4-1-25 apiece. 16 minutes first quarter.
There's just no giving it, Sam. Just no giving this game. And if it, as you mentioned, if it's played, not so much the umpiring, but if the game's played at this level, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Half-time, I believe, who can get their nose in front and have a bit of a lead, may be able to go on with it. But certainly the mistakes, the turnovers, if you can keep them down, you're in with a big chance.
So umpire Andrew Coates has got it, thumps it into the beautiful turf. Rising high, Monkhorst got a fingernail. O'Donnell took it. Junior Giraffe kicked to centre half forward. Francisca over the top of Hurd, punched it away. The crumbs for Kerrison, Denham and Christian. Young gave support to Denham, ran around, now gave it back to Young. Beautiful tackle, Kerrison, play on, said the umpire. Oller and Shaw, hand pass out to Hurd. Hurd sold the dummy beautifully, centred it up nicely for O'Donnell. Here comes Brown. Brown did it well. Simons hand passing to Mercedes. Mercedes brought it around his body towards the goal and it went behind. And on the 3RW Channel 7 tonight scoreboard, Essendon to 4-2-26, Collingwood 4-1-25.
Terrific kick by Mercedes, was that, at goal then? He just slung that like a soccer cross. He kicked that from about 6 inches off the ground and just slung it into goal.
Well, Alessio's taken a nice mark over Monkhurst at the kick out. He was in best position. Oh, he's made it very tough for Simons. In the end, Watson missed what he probably should have taken over the top of Michael Simons. And the Collingwood defenders there, Hassel and Kelly, happy to see the ball go over the boundary line for a throw-in. Only about 10 metres around from the Bomber goal. Up there at the punt road end. Packed house in here. 4-1 apiece. It's been a great start. Now 4-2 to 4-1. Bombers by a point as Kelly roves at the throw-in. Did that nicely. Sweeping hand pass to Christian. He reaches McGuan with a good handball at centre half back and now back to Christian. And now they look down here and find young Jason Wild, who got it in front of Gavin Wanganeen. Plays on. Wanganeen read the intercept. Tackles Christian. He's almost beaten two of them, but numbers beat him in the end. And Wild now off the centre line. Long kick. Looking down here for Brereton, who was up. Walker as well. Buckley roves it out near the boundary. 60 from goal. Chips it back inboard. Good kick. Just didn't bounce for Curran. On the burst there was young Wild again. Couldn't take it. And O'Connor relieves for the Bombers and bombs one to the centre.
Towards James Hurd, did it beautifully, recovered. Beautiful pressure right. Right of Collingwood now on the defensive side of square. Brings it out members wing. Kerrison under Mercury. Kerrison taps it on front. Mercury infringes and will take... Well, I'm gone now. Williams now kicks it inside 50. Rocker comes out and kicks it out. Nearly on the full, but a 15th before the chalk saved him. If that is not an infringement, I'm not sitting here in the grandstand. The umpire could probably say, well, I was unsighted, Rex, and I accept the umpire's decision. Always have and always will as the football goes back in. Hit Walker on the cranium. Smoke and Joe Mercedes went Brereton, tapped it on. Went Smoke and Joe Mercedes, hand passed out again. Danaher out of trouble, taken by Curran. Currently towards Rocker, but Fletcher did a nice clean-up trick and took a mark. He's kicked it high for Harvey. Here comes a young boy in Wild. Harvey has taken a nice mark in front of Jason Wild and gets it out, going again for Lawrenshaw to give it to the speedster Fraser in the centre, to centre half forward, and beautiful mark to Watson. Elliot Ness went across, and Watson gets it out to Wright, the Tasmanian, and great to see Wright recovered from that illness, Shane.
Oh, spot on, Rex. So what are his early stats, Bondi, for Ford Care?
That was his 7th kick, 2 marks to Graeme, right?
It's a great effort in 20 minutes of footy. Finds Monkhurst at the back of the square. Essendon by a point if you've just joined us. Down he goes to young Lee Walker, but Alessio really playing with confidence. Took the mark. Hand pass off to Wanganeen. He'll look down here for Big Somerville. He got a shove, but O'Donnell roved it nicely. Hand pass to Young. They're at the front of the square, Essendon. Not a good kick down here. Makes life tough for Darcy. Kelly comes out. Oh, he's defending beautifully, Kelly. Big long hand pass to Watson again, and Collingwood rebounds off half-back flank, southern stand side. Looking for Walker. Harvey a good spoil. A little bit competent so far. Bit experienced for young Walker. And breaks away beautifully and drives one along the wing, hoping for Hurd. But the Collingwood defence was up to the task there, and Krasiska thumped it over for a throw-in. How are you enjoying the Magpies so far, Peter Daicos?
Well, they're doing quite well, and Rocker up forward is giving him an option. 2 goals from full forward. Good start.
So the football back into play, knocked out by Somerville, down to Hurd. Hurd brought it across his body and it bounced inside 50. Here comes Kelly, but it came down to Barry Young of Essendon. He sized it up to Red Simons. Simons is up. Hassel interfered with him. He did grab him, folks. He grabbed him. You watch the replay, those people at the ground. You must go for the football with eyes on that pill. And the air conveyance certainly was not the target of the player.
Very similar incident to, I think, Main Waring getting his shoulder dislocated over in the West. This was definitely pulled off the ball there, and a definite free kick, so we won't complain with that. And interesting you made the comment up here about Walker on Harvey. Just inexperience, as you said, Shane, not using the body to keep Harvey out, but leading Harvey straight to the ball and giving him a chance to punch it away. So maybe if they could direct it through Brereton, it'd be a start.
So Red Simons marked at 50, or got the free 15 out. He's come back to me in the box to kick a point. That's a horrible out of bounds on the full. That is, well, it's just bad luck for the kid. He'll get the next one. And take it away, kid. I don't think they'll be too happy with that one.
He kicked one like that, didn't he, Bondi, in the night final against Carlton 2 years ago?
Didn't make the distance from 30 metres out. That was about 40 metres out.
It was a shocking kick. He just seemed to stab at it. So Collingwood bring it back into play. Buckley leads up. They're going to have to take it again. Sam, time for a quick comment.
And is this Wright coming off the ground? Who's this?
Brett James.
Brett James and... God, how's my mind going? I'm just going to tell you who's following him over there at the minute. That, of course, is Young following over now, and on comes Shea.
So Cockatoo Collins on, and at the same time Aaron James, number 38, on for Brett.
I tell you what, Shane, this is a joke, this record. I mean, there's no one's number in here at all. Kerrison, Cockatoo Collins, they got 8 on the interchange, and they still can't get all their numbers in for $1.50.
Yep, 3 blokes, Wild, James and Kerrison, not on the list for Collingwood. The clubs are a bit at fault, of course, too. Anyway...
Well, they're absolutely at fault.
Let's have a look at Kelly, running off half-back, driving down to Monkhurst. Alessio doing well there, got in front, won the battle, gave it to Lawrenshaw. He chipped short, and that's Big Somerville. The 2 Essendon big men are doing well.
Been very good, Somerville.
Now, Somerville's 60 from goal. He can't score a goal from here. Essendon in front by a point, 23 minutes first quarter. It's 4-2 to 4-1. He's just going to have to bomb one and hope for the brilliant Hurd, who's up. Got it. Did he? One bite. No, wouldn't pay it. Well umpired. Mercedes goes in. Darts at 50. Hand passes to the 100 gamer Denham. He bursts. Left footed to the front of the goal. It won't score. It bounces over the boundary line for a throw in.
I think you'd have to be concerned if you're Collingwood. Kerrison couldn't chase in. He's obviously holding back some sort of injury. I read in the paper there that Christian and Kerrison mightn't have played because of injury. Collingwood are on their feet at the moment, but they're doing okay. Thumped away by Kelly at the back line. It went out to Alessio. His hand passed out to Denham. Denham on the left half, right half forward flank has been cleaned up. Plans at the umpire. Oh, Denham's kicked a magnificent looking goal. I read the point. Well, the umpire said goal, but he said mine. Sorry, I couldn't read his lips, no bush. And Essendon to 4-3-27. And Collingwood 4-1-25. By gee, that must have been close. Channel 7 tonight scoreboard.
It's a terrific battle here, Daicos.
It is a terrific
no
battle.
Give or take.
Hurd being a very good player at centre half forward for Essendon. Mazzoudi on the wings had plenty of the ball. for Collingwood. Wright's been a great player off our back flank. Brown, Buckley, Rocker.
Watson's kick out was a delight and reached half-back flank where Collingwood wins the footy. That was nice play. Kelly having a big quarter. He drives down to the centre. Couldn't find a teammate though. Wanganane's spoil on Wild was good. O'Donnell just chipped one short for Ola Renshaw. Stand wing, taking an eternity to pick it up. Now decides to go long. The lead's up. Up goes the pack. Wright spoils. Simons takes it, or Denham it was, to Mercedes at the front of the square. The left footer in the direction of Simons. He's been interfered with. Watson ran straight at him, and he'll be kicking from 20 metres out directly in front. I don't think Sam was absolutely as clear-cut as last time. He actually paid the mark, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he got belted in the face.
I thought it was a free kick and not a mark.
Well, he actually went up like that, you know, with the two hands. Of course, the listeners in Western Australia can see me doing that, can't they?
Well, he's been obviously given the kick for a free kick. Definitely didn't mark it, and this gets down to when you're allowed to actually have a swat at the ball, and do you have to be looking at it, in fact, or do you anticipate it's going to come into his hands and have a general swat in the direction of where it's coming from?
Well, he's shooting, the man on the mark's 12 metres from goal. Simons is 48. He's now run to 40, now to 30, now kicks, and I think he snaffled that one. It's a goal, makes up for his last terrible mistake. 5-3 to 4-1, that's an 8-point lead to Essendon. Channel 7 today, tonight's scoreboard, as we relay through 8AJ in Alice Springs, 6PR Perth and 5AA in beautiful Adelaide.
Very line ball decision with that mark and free kick. Certainly wasn't a mark, and I suppose we'd give the benefit of the doubt to the player going for the ball, and the umpires made a correct decision, and Ron would be very happy with his run-up because he runs in from 74 metres away, as you said, Shane, and kicks at 12.
So this is umpire Tim Pfeiffer approaching quarter time. A magnificent bounce too. And it favoured Somerville, who knocked it out towards O'Donnell. But Pfeiffer, the umpire, has picked out a free kick. It's going to go to Denham. Denham of Essendon on the defensive side of the centre circle. He goes inside 50, looking for Alessio. Up to Christian. Play on, said the umpire. Red Simons' leg. Play on, said the umpire. Whoa, Watson hand pass to Christian. Christian hand pass to Wright, who was tackled, and the umpire Saws will go in and bounce it. So it's tough, it's rugged in the clinches. And approaching quarter time, Essendon lead 5-3-33 to Collingwood 4-1-25. The ball's inside 50. That's for Essendon going down to the punt road end. The hand pass came out from Hurd. It went on to McCurry. McCurry goes Red Simons. Can't get it, but he brings it across his body for a goal. 2 goals to Simons, right on the quarter time siren. And Essendon to 6-3-39. Collingwood a 4-1-25. 27 minutes gone, and that's a beauty. Certainly that Collingwood didn't want, Sammy.
And a really bad piece of play by Michael Christian, who is a very good player normally, but he could see that the man he hand passed that ball to was going to be grabbed as soon as he gave him the hand pass. He nevertheless still gave it. He was claimed, the ball was bounced, of course, and a goal results.
Pressure, Sam, pressure.
Peter Daicos, Sam Newman, former champions, up here with Australia's #1 broadcasting team as Somerville dominating, gets it down to O'Donnell. He finds Hurd at centre half forward. Danger times here for Collingwood. Essendon finishing off the quarter well. They've gone in the Simons direction again, and he's got it again. Well, he's beaten Watson a number of times. I'd like you to explain, Sam, to the people at home how he's getting these grabs. He's not jumping over Watson, he's just getting in terrific position.
Body use as well.
And I tell you what, Sam, you'd be delighted. He's taken his right glove off to kick the football. So we thought we'd see it from golf to football, and we have.
I'll tell you how he's doing it, Shane, because they're underestimating the value of Simons. I watched very closely then Watson, and he left Simons well alone when that ball was kicked, and then at the last minute thought that he was going to take the mark and arrived too late.
Well, now he's lining up from 30. He was 65 metres out when he started his run-up.
That is a terrible kick.
And he's hit the post. Well, he's kicked 2, and the 2 he got were good, and he's had 2 very ordinary efforts.
I don't know why he's bothering running in.
No.
It hasn't worked.
He
should have 4 goals.
And not one of them have actually spun properly. Not one of them.
Exactly,
He
they
must have
haven't.
been taught like that, was he? I mean,
Well, they've changed his style because he never used to kick like that.
Unbelievable.
So here comes Kelly, kicked it outside 50. And it came out towards Kerrison. Kelly didn't kick it because he's got it now. He hand passed it to Hassel, a high giraffe kick. He's certainly got to try and get it in. Wild is up, playing to the umpire with O'Donnell and Christian. Well, the umpire is Andrew Coach, and he's going to go in and bounce the football on the wing position. So the wing position now on the outer side of the ground in front of the Pack Southern stand. It's a great stand, there's no doubt about that. Capacity crowd here at Anzac Day. The football on the emblem goes up, thumped a mile by Monkhorst. The free kick is going to go to Collingwood's Monkhorst. It's given by Andrew Coates, and it's going to go against Alessio. So with all the goals kicked, we might go 31, 32 minutes with the time on added. We've now gone nearly 30 minutes in. They're desperate to get a goal, Collingwood, before quarter time. Monkhorst breaks and kicks it out to the big fellow in Rocker. From behind it went down, picked up by Brett James, and they got the one they wanted. They got it through. Good play by Rocker to not allow Fletcher to come and punch from behind. Then down to James, and Brett James put it through from 30 metres out. The Carringbusher 5-1-31. They're 9 points down on Essendon, 6-4-40. A stroke of luck, that's all you need. Simons to miss one, and Collingwood to pick one up, Sammy.
Yeah, a stroke of luck that James would be actually standing on the defensive side or the offensive side of the pack. You'd think he'd be down the other side, but nevertheless, perhaps he's got far better judgment than we gave him credit for.
Good effort, Monkhorst, to jump well against Somerville, but O'Donnell continues to get these centre breaks for the Bombers. Drives down to attacking 50, where Hassel read it better than the Cocky. And Hassel took the mark and found Graeme Wright. Can they get another one back and get themselves up near level pegging? At quarter time, Collingwood right along the southern stand wing he goes. O'Connor got rid of Brereton, free kick to Dermy. Is this his first stat coming up, Bondi?
Yeah, first kick to the kid today.
So, Dermot Brereton, number 3 for Collingwood, drives down into the forward pocket. Rocker's in good position, and he's taken a terrific mark. He's really got his tail up, Big Sav. Those 6 last week have obviously fired him up.
And O'Connor vehemently remonstrating with the umpire. He said that was nothing more than a tangle of legs as both ran for the ball. So I suppose if you're in front of the player when you're running for the ball and you get tripped up, they always look at it from the positive point of view.
Rocker's near the boundary on 50 under the southern stand. The right footer looks terrific. Well done, Big Sav. That's 3 to Rocker in the opening quarter. Oh, just when Essendon looked like they might get a little stranglehold, Simons missed, as Rex said, at one end. They could have been 3 goals up. Now, Daicos, they're 3 points up.
Well, Rocker's been a tremendous player. He's given them a focal point. He's moving extremely well, and more importantly, marking the ball with just one bite at it. And Fletcher's got his hands full. He's kicked 3 goals, and really Collingwood have got themselves back to within 3 points.
Talk to me about confidence, and you can see the kid, he is just brimming with confidence, and you can do anything when you really want to. And there it is again for the siren. And what a marvellous, enthralling game of football for this within 24 hours. Oh, it's within 16 hours of last night. It is absolutely magnificent here at the MCG with a capacity crowd. Essendon lead by 3 points at quarter time. The Bombers are 6 goals 440, leading Collingwood 6 goals 137 for Essendon. Simons has kicked 2 goals and 1 each to Somerville, Hurd, McCurry and O'Donnell. And for Collingwood, Rocker's kicked 3. Williams, Buckley and James have kicked the other goal. I look down on the members here and people have a go at me for taking Lynn trout fishing on my honeymoon. Well, I can see that Mike Sheehan has done the right thing today. He's brought his wife of 2 days to the football.
Now 3AW's Match of the Day, 1278, 3AW.
Interesting Dermot too. Every time the Rocker's gone back for a kick of goal, Dermot's in the middle of the goal square, putting his arms up, giving him a target to kick at.
Thanks, Tipper. There's Dermy with just 1 touch in the first quarter. Umpires today, Rowan Saws, there he is, the most experienced man in white. Made his debut in 1977. With him today, Andrew Coates and Tim Pfeiffer. Rowan Saws has done 4 grand finals, approaching 350 games. Now Collingwood with the slight breeze, right to left in the second quarter. Monkhorst wins again, and he's dominating in these centre hitouts. Hurry.
Giraffe kick came out on the wing position. It's bouncing and bouncing. Hassel versus the Cocky. The Cocky gets in position, but the football went over the boundary line and out of bounds. So Essendon to 6-4-40, Collingwood 6-1-37. They're 3 points in front as the ball comes spinning back into play. Big Monkhorse beaten by Somerville, went down to Kerrison, ran around from the cocky, look for the hand pass on Hassel. Hassel off the half-back flank, goes to centre half forward. Harvey for Essendon. Takes beautiful anticipation from the flight of the ball and took the mark. Kicked it out onto the half-back flank and found Smokin' Joe Mercedes. Mercedes marked it in front of Brown. He got it onto Fraser. Fraser to the boos of the crowd with Essendon now goes inside the square. Here comes Fletcher. Over the top is Elliott Ness, and Watson took it beautifully and punched it away. Hassel decraniumised. And the umpire there, Tim Pfeiffer, right on the job as Hassel lost his cranium. And he was taken a little bit high there.
I reckon that's a pretty good move, putting Darcy back to full back, because he was up on the forward line at full forward. And now they've put Fletcher at full forward, or certainly the forward pocket, and given Darcy a chance, which he made his name for at Geelong, playing at full back, down there on Rocker, who's already kicked 3 goals.
Kerrison plays on, gives it to Graeme Wright, who's having a terrific match so far. He drives in short, but Essendon able just to bring the ball to the ground here. Long, Mercedes, I've got a couple to beat.
Oh, great play.
Oh, that was terrific work from Collingwood. And in the end, the kick from young Williams only went as far as the champion Wanganeen, the Brownlow medalist. So, we might have put Dermy on his backside there just for a moment, too. I don't think Dermy appreciated it in front of the huge crowd.
Joking.
Goes short. Fletcher might be even doing a bit of ruck roving. Alessio, whoa, has taken a specky.
Hasn't he come on this year, Shane?
Has he improved? Sam Newman made the comment last week, as did Rex. He's jumped over a big pack here. Craig Kelly was in front. Krosiska was coming over the back. Alessio and Somerville, both terrific in this game. From the wing, down into the direction of Hurd. Ball thumped away, or danger. Fraser's roved it. Oh, it's Ola Renshaw. Left footer, should be a Mercury mark. It is in the goal square. And he has always played on. He feigned, and then he was made play on by the umpire. He would have been shooting from 12 metres out.
Good decision too. He
wasn't he quick, the umpy?
Yep, but he had played
Picked
on.
that up.
Well, I don't agree that he had played on. He didn't move off his mark. He didn't feign a hand pass. He feigned a kick. I think you can feign
He made the movement,
kicks.
Sam.
He made the movement. That's all you got to do, Sam. You are a professor of movement, and as soon as the move is made, you move as well.
That's
or
not
you
right.
should. The football now comes out towards Mercury. He's pulled off the football, stacks on the mill. The Cockatoo Collins got a high kick for a magnificent goal out of the pack for the Cocky. Cocky won a cracker and he said, my word I do, Rexy, I'll kick it for you, son. And you can launch into a goal. And Essendon to 7-4-46, Collingwood 6-1-37. 3 minutes in second term, Crown Casino scoreboard.
That, of course, is not right. You can feign a movement when you're going to kick the ball. If you don't move off the line of the kick, you are allowed to feign as many times as you like. It's not play on at all.
Well, that's an interesting question for the umpires next time we have them in.
But I reckon he took half a body length to the side. And I reckon that's why he might have called play on. Somerville got the tap down. Now, first possession will go here to Collingwood. Free kick. And the hand pass now to Kerrison from James. Away he goes. And Kerrison from the centre circle. Walker has come from nowhere. Harvey obviously felt Walker was just not in the contest. It was Rocker versus Darcy, and somehow contorting his body, he's taken a terrific mark, Sam Newman, 30 metres out.
A great mark, with no personal regard, as we say, Shane, for our own body. Walker now in for a goal for Collingwood.
Right in front, might be his first touch of the game, I think, but it's a goal, and a very important one. So they've got all the answers at the moment, Collingwood. Every time Essendon threatens, Collingwood can come right back hard. How have Walker and Brereton looked on the forward care stat sheet, Bondi?
Well, you're quite right, Shane. That was Lee Walker's first touch. 1 mark, 1 kick, 1 goal. Dermott has only had the 1 free kick and the 1 kick in the first quarter. And Lee Walker's opponent, I think his Mark Harvey's had 4 kicks and 2 marks.
Essendon have been the better side, Sam, I feel, to this stage of the game. But Collingwood, as mentioned by Shane, just keep coming back at him, and it's just kicking that goal at the right time.
Monkhorse versus Somerville. Somerville got it down. Smokin' Joe Mercedes, a mongrel finger breaker down towards Hurd, who marked on his chest in front of Krosiska. And here comes Hurd now. Kicks it in, looking down there for Simons. Punched away by Watson. Very good play. And the football bounced over the boundary line and out of bounds. In front of a packed Ponsford stand. Magnificent conditions for football inside 50 for Essendon. Knocked out by Alessio, came out to right. Right breaks from the half-back line with a bounce. He takes another bounce and another bounce, sees him outside 50. He's into the square and kicks it inside towards 50. Walker is there, can't take it. The big Savaloy knocked it on, but Wanganeen, magnificent. Hand passed it out to Fraser. Fraser drew the opposition and hand passed to Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Mercedes now will kick a short ball. He's gone in towards Denham, who spilled the bananas. Over the top comes Denham again with Danaher. The hand pass by Denham came out to Darcy. Darcy to Danaher. Danaher hand pass to O'Donnell and a kick, and it's marked by Alessio. Very, very quick there, Bondi. I hope you got the whole lot. As Alessio hand passes to Fletcher. Fletcher turns around and has got one on towards Simons. Simons goes in, hooks it back in beautifully for Hurd. O'Donnell says, I'll go for it. Hand pass to Simons and a short kick's a beauty to McCurry.
Great play.
I hope you got the whole lot there, Bondi.
Certainly did, Rexy boy.
Great calling, great calling.
Terrific. But Fletcher's kick out to the boundary line, and Simons, fantastic thinking, able to palm that back into play, follow it up. Great play.
And it's a goal to McCurry. He's now got 2 goals. Essendon starting to look good on 8-4-52. Although they're only 9 up on Collingwood, 7-1-43. They're looking very, very good on the Crown Casino scoreboard.
And if that had been the final minutes of the game and Simons did that, we'd be mentioning that in the same breath as the Collingwood man who ran down there, the galloping Leviathan down there and swatted it back in.
Wayne
and
Harms
kicked
Kenny
the goal.
Sheldon. Harms back to Sheldon.
That's right. And the Manasseh run, I suppose you think of as well in those circumstances. As Kerrison robs O'Donnell, who looked like he was going to take first possession. Now Mercedes got it, does get first kick in the Cockatoo Collins direction. Good mark in front of Hassel. He just looks short of a gallop to me, the Cocky, but he's getting into the game and he's got Fraser, who might kick a goal. Runs to 50, can he bang it home against his old side? No, he can't. It's going to be touched off hands.
Free kick.
Free kick to Essendon. It looks like Fletcher or Hurd has been impeded. No, it's Simons, in fact. Well, Simons is proving a real handful. Now he's on a tough angle. You wouldn't bank him to kick this.
How many free kicks to Simons?
He's had his 4th free kick. Essendon have received 7 as he runs around and has a shot.
Played on.
And 2 posters.
He's hit the post from 13 metres out. Oh dear, he could have actually taken this game apart on his own today.
And
8-5 to 7-1. Sorry, Sammy.
No wonder you didn't know what I was talking about before, Shane. Of course, it was Harms. It was nothing to do with any Collingwood player. Manasseh was the long run.
And Watson kicked it outside, but Hurd's got it. Hand pass to McCurry. McCurry out to Simons, who's a fine young footballer. He puts it in towards the Cocky. Can't take it out there. Here comes Fletcher. Hand pass to Denham. Denham onto the goal line behind the stick. Essendon to 8-5-53. Bombarding the goals now, 8-6-54 and Collingwood 7-1-43. I've got time to say that Red Simons is a fine young footballer and he gets something that not a lot of people can get, and it's called the football.
And his forward care stats showing that too. Rex is Watson now. Kicks out and gets it almost to the wing. Oh, Kelly, great mark. Great hand pass through to Brett James, who links on the centre wing. He finds Nathan Buckley forward of the wing. Now a searching Buckley kick could make the goal square here. And there it goes, up into the forward pocket for Brereton. Walker, Harvey spoils, Brereton's got it on the boundary to Walker. 30 metres out, impossible angle. Hits the post. Good effort, young Lee. I interviewed him at the Collingwood Club 20 a couple of weeks ago. Got a bonza personality, Daicos, this
what
young
were you
kid.
down at the Club 20? Oh, the Club 20.
The Club 20,
sorry.
not the other one with 20, Rex. As the Bombers kick it by Fraser. What do you think of Walker, Daicos?
Terrific. Actually talking to him through the week. A terrific young guy, and but uncanny skills.
Chris Sisker has taken it and hand pass to Buckley. Buckley on the left half forward flank. Brereton versus O'Connor, couldn't get it. It went out to Williams. Williams hand pass to McGuan. It's coming around. It's coming around, but not enough behind the stick. It shaves it. The Esther pole just was too much. And Collingwood a 7-3-45. Trailing Essendon by 9 points, 8-6-54. We've moved into the 11th minute of play in the second term. Crown Casino scoreboard. So here we come with Darcy. He gets it out to Oller and Shaw. He's in the half-back area for Essendon at the punt road end of the stadium. Slightly on the members' side, looking for opportunities. The umpire now has no right to call him on, but he does now. He goes right across and finds O'Donnell. Call it left half-back flank Rexy as he kicks it outside 50. He's got it onto Ryan O'Connor, and O'Connor marks in front of the kid Brereton. He's now on the left half-back flank and kicks it now just forward of the wing position. Williams is higher than Joe Cocker. It came out to Darcy, who was tackled, but the umpire said there's a free kick, and it's going to go to Long.
How are Michael Long's stats, Bondi, for forward care?
He started very well, Shane. 4 touches in the first quarter. That's his first one in the second.
And Nathan Buckley?
Nathan Buckley, 5 in the first, 2 in the second.
Pack rises at a half forward for the Bombers. No one can take the mark. Well, they're going in ferociously. Cockatoo Collins wants a holding the ball free kick against the Magpie, who was buried at the bottom. That was Michael Christian, I fancy. Well, Nathan Buckley it was, and a ball up results. On 50 for the Dons. Monkhurst beats Alessio. Down to Kerrison, looks a little bit slow. He dribbles one to the boundary, where Gary O'Donnell just can't keep it in. Your thoughts on Kerrison so far, Dax?
Well, he hasn't had a lot of the ball, and I think the key to a lot of taggers these days is no doubt to blanket your opponent, but at the same time be picking up possessions. But he's doing a decent enough job at the moment. More possessions wanted, though.
Okay, at the throw in, and Monkhurst beats Alessio again. Well done, Brown, but then tackled by the 100-gamer Denham, but fed it back very cleverly to Graham Wright, whose chip to Buckley was actually dropped by that player, but he's good enough to get away from Fraser. Drive to the centre line. That's a good mark taken there by, is that Richardson on the ground? It is. Gets the hand pass moving quickly. Buckley through the centre, they come to Hassel. Nice hand pass to McGuan, he's forward of centre, but he's still inside the square. Watch out, here comes Fletcher. Good lead, way out into the pocket by Brett James. Ball didn't reach him cleanly though. And it's over the boundary line, 50 metres out from the Collingwood goal, members side of the punt road end. 8-6-54 the Bombers. 7-3-45 the Magpies, 3AW footy around Australia.
Walker for Collingwood got it. Oller and Shaw went deliberately for the boundary from 10-15 metres. Knocked out by Somerville, very close to the boundary line again. And Collingwood desperate to get another goal on the scoreboard.
Just Gavin Brown, 3 possessions. His opponent, Joe Masiti, has had 16.
Well, the ball now spinning back into play. Walker grabs it, takes it out of the air, gets it down towards the left forward pocket position, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Bondi, what about Kerrison's job on Denham? Is Denham actually getting many touches?
Kerrison's had 3 kicks and 2. Denham's had 5 and 4.
Thank you very much. The ball now on its journey via the circumvolution from the boundary umpire back in, knocked out by Rocker. It came out to Long, kicked off the ground by Rowan O'Connor. Williams over the top of the football. Play on, said the umpire. In fact, Tim Pfeiffer, the umpy, says now, I'm going to put her down in the left forward pocket at the punt road into the stadium. Collingwood are deep into attack. Throw the blanket over 20 players at that end of the stadium. Knocked out by Rocker, back the rack with Wanganeen, but it went to Denham. Denham hand pass to Darcy. Darcy ran his complement and kicked it outside 50, looking for the Cocky. The Cocky's taken it beautifully. Sprints away from Hassel and bounces. As I speak again, bounces again on the Emlyn, right on his hammer. Brown dragged him down beautifully. Brown. It went out to McCurry. McCurry brought it across his body to Olrenshaw. Olrenshaw playing the football on in front of himself. Mighty Mick McGuan right on his hammer. Olrenshaw ran around in circles. Brings it across his body and back inside 50. Into the open spaces. Krasiska thumps and it went over. 2 players fighting. The emergency player is the umpire is on the ground. And I tell you what, McGuan and Olrenshaw don't want to cross that guy because they'll end up in court. Here's the kid.
Well, it's 30 metres out from the Essendon goal. In front of the smoker stand. Hurd tried to take it out of the air. Wright took it. McCurry tackled. Good backing up. Hurd. A wonderful handball. And Alessio, where's he gone? Now, what was he doing? Sam, explain that.
Well, Shane, when he kicked that, I thought, is he trying to defend? Because he had no intention of kicking that towards the goals, and he was only 20 metres out, so I wasn't quite sure what he had in mind there.
He seemed to aim for the other forward pocket. Maybe he tried a right foot banana that did bend very late, but it went out of bounds on the full. Essendon's missed 3 good opportunities this quarter. Simons, McCurry, and now the big man Alessio. From the kick back into play, Brown takes it, rear possession. Hand passes to Buckley. Fraser right on his tail. Good support though from, that's Paul Williams. Out there on southern stand wing, he looks down for young Wild. Wangarine's the spoiler. Walker bursts in. Might have been holding the ball against him. He took a long time to get rid of it, but Collingwood have got support. The captain Brown goes in now. Oh, Essendon are ferocious. Walker follows up. Has the kick run down by O'Donnell, and it's out of bounds. Forward of the wing. Collingwood just marginally into attack. If you've just joined us around Australia, Buick and Thompson did not line up for the Bombers. In came Cransberg and Cockatoo Collins. It's the Bombers by 9 points halfway through the second quarter.
This is a magnificent confrontation as Wanganeen grabs the Walker kick. Wanganeen down towards the wing position. Alessio punched away Moncourse. Beautiful recovery. Alessio hand past Oller and Jaw. Took a bounce. Good smothering by Somerville inside towards Hurd. Play on, said the umpire. Cransberg took it out of the pack, but the mark was paid to Kelly. Ned Kelly brings it out to the members, half back flank to the Disciple, and Christian marks and breaks, puts it onto his left boot and goes down towards Kerrison and McDermott. Dermot Brereton was pushed in the back by O'Connor. You didn't like that, Daicos?
Very soft free kick.
So the kid now, Brereton, the father, the newborn father, comes inside 50. Walker's there, so too Severio. Rocker couldn't take it. Smokin' Joe Mercedes been magnificent, gets a little chip pass out to Denham, and Donnybrush Denham. O'Donnell runs away from Williams and puts it onto the wing position. Red Simons has got one of the best pair of hands in the world, and Red Simons has marked it, kid just forward of the centre wing.
Yeah, especially for his size. He's not a big boy, but by gosh, he's lean, but he's got a great leap and a great grab. Now Alessio's his target. Up goes the big man, couldn't take the mark. Well roved right. Long intercepted beautifully and gave it to, was that Mercedes? He was run down. Fantastic play by Collingwood there. And now it rebounds and Kerrison's got it. The tackler was Wild. Kerrison's kick's horrible. He's having a poor game for mine.
Lack of practice.
Yeah, it's showing too. And the Don's able to clear comfortably. Fraser, he's in trouble. Oh, well tackled. Buckley's got Fraser. Turnover right in the centre of the MCG. Now a long kick from Buckley. Oh, Rocker went up, nearly had it. Through came James, 30 from goal. Walker now. Very, very high kick. Wild's got 2 to beat. Wanganeen couldn't hold the mark. Wild grabs it. Now he's paid the mark. Wild missed anyway. So let's check the score. 8-6-54 Essendon. 7-3-45 Collingwood. I don't think it was a Wanganeen mark, Sammy.
Didn't look like a mark to me, Shane. Here it comes again on the replay on the big board. So he gets underneath the ball and he definitely drops the mark. That's a disgraceful decision. I mean, God almighty.
So the football's ended up over there with Somerville. Somerville kicks it to the 50-metre line. O'Donnell marks and hand pass to the running Darcy. One bounce to centre wing and kicks it inside 50. Cransberger's there too. Red Simons over the top, can't take it. Here comes a hand pass across there from right. Got it across to Watson. And Watson's kick ended up on the left half-back flank in front of the members' stand where it was marked by Buckley. He turns on a sixpence and kicks it to the wing. No one at home for Collingwood. Somerville comes in and gets it to Donnybrush Denham. A low trajectory kick found Long. Long has got a lead. Cransberg spilling into the mark. And the left-footed man, late inclusion into the game, is going to line it up from 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle at the main scoreboard end that shows Essendon 8-6-54 to Collingwood 7-3-45. And we've travelled into the 19th minute in the second term before a capacity crowd here at the MCG. You would expect 90,000 to come out on the record sheet as Cransberg on the left foot puts it on its way. It dies on its trajectory and goes behind the stick for a out of bounds on the fall, and the Disciple Michael Christian will relieve the pressure, Kitty.
Yeah, they've missed a lot of gettable shots this quarter, Essendon. They probably should be further in front. Brown now marks at defensive 50 under the southern stand, looks for Wild. Wanganeen from behind. Alessio steals, playing a fine game. Hand passes to Denham, it's on the wing. Denham bursts away. Hand passes to Mercedes forward of the centre. He puts in a high one for Cransberg or Hurd. Cransberg, Hurd late spoil. McGuan took crumbs. Intercepted Fletcher, but it went to Kelly, who hand passes to McGuan. This will make it tough for Mick because Fraser's quicker. Fraser worried him out of it. Fletcher took it. Gave it to Fraser. Inside to Long, they're at the front of the square. Bad hand pass. And now Kelly's got it for Collingwood. His kick is intercepted by Fletcher. Kelly butters up again, almost threw that out to Buckley. Buckley tries to beat Long for pace. Gets away now and drives to the true centre. Wanganeen left it, I wondered why. Maybe he got a fake call. In went Walker. Harvey beat him to the footy. Harvey's tough and goes in and ties it up. We've got a ball up between centre and centre half forward for Collingwood.
And Kerrison been taken from the ground for number 38, whoever that is.
Aaron James, Sam.
Thank you.
Bang goes the football by umpire Saws, and it's knocked out by Big Alessio. To Long took it beautifully. Sold the dummy hand pass, Smoking Joe Masiti. He got it out into open spaces. Long lopes along. A cruel bounce saw Brown pick it up. Collingwood, hand pass to right. Right now, right of the half forward flank, kicks it in. Buckley's marked it. He's 80 metres out from goal at the punt road into the stadium. He now goes forward and back and then went forward again with a long kick. Severio Rocker versus Alessio versus O'Connor. Punched away, Darcy went out to Wanganeen. Wanganeen's got it, canks it back towards goal and taken wide. Danaher. Play on, said the umpire. Beautiful play there by the young man Curran. He got away with it. Well, I thought he might have marked it, but I think you'll see that the umpire was right on the job. And he's got the whistle and I've got the microphone. The ball spinning back into play. Taken by Alessio, dropped to the ground. Gigantic Giraffe kicked outside 50. Curran races for the ball. A cruel bounce to the young man. Shaw will kick it up. Hand passing in front of Wild and get it across to O'Donnell. O'Donnell off the half back line, 50, takes 2 bounces, works his way through with 3, ran into Wild and then hand passed over his head. Long tackle by Wild, but got his kick to the right half forward flank. Red Simon to dummy, magnificent mark. He is a gem, this man. Don't worry about the kicking, they'll get that right. He's why you come to the footy. He is a marcologist.
Well, that was just a sensational grab. He jumped running full pace high into the air and marked at the front of the square. Now has found Fletcher. Now Dustin's been played as a ruckman this quarter in sort of a switching motion with Somerville and Alessio.
He was taken off the ground earlier on, Shane, because he wasn't doing much down there on the forward line, and Darcy's doing okay at full back, so they've just brought him back on.
So he's actually lining this up. We haven't seen him try too many shots for goal in his short career. Mainly played at the other end. He's 55 out to the main scoreboard end. Let's see him kick. It's a flat punt. It's missed. He actually made the distance. It's a point. So if Essendon gets beaten here, they'll look back on a lot of wasted chances in this second quarter that they have, at least for scoring opportunities, dominated. 8-7-55 to 7-3-45. 22-minute second quarter on the Crown Casino scoreboard.
So Watson from the main scoreboard kicks it out to a waiting Buckley who took the mark. Hand passed out to Christian. The disciple on the left boot puts it high. It's a hospital job. Young Curran can't get it. Knocked away Danaher. Kransberg got it back to Danaher with a nice hand pass. He kicked it inboard looking for Simons again. And Simons has taken another mark at centre half forward. He breaks and he's got Alessio and a beautiful kick by Simons. He wants to get on with it and he oozes confidence and ability. And the young man is just a beautiful footballer. That particular pass was an absolute gem, Sammy.
And very quick thinking, because he rushed back down to now Brereton being taken from the ground for, is he in the book? Thank heavens, Burns is in the book, one of the few.
So Alessio has put it on the edge of the goal square, and going up is Kelly, who takes a nice mark at the 23-minute mark. Essendon 55, lead by 10 points over Collingwood 45. He fell over, got up, O'Connor comes in.
Terrible
takes
kick.
a mark over Burns. And O'Connor, a real contender for the baby Huey Stakes. The cheeks, I tell you what, are bulging from those pants. And the young man, just so very, very young in league football, has a chance to put Essendon further in front. They're 10 points up. He's a man mountain, this young boy, and he's kicked it a mile. He's kicked it to the edge of the square, high as Kransberg, and the ball goes over the boundary line.
And out of bounds right next to that behind post. Sam, do you agree with my analysis that the Bombers perhaps should be further in front?
Well, they should be, Shane, but if you kick the goals, you should be. But I mean, very hard question to answer that.
All right, well, Monkhurst has got it away for Collingwood. From back pocket, he's just wobbled one out here to centre wing, which Brett James chased down terrifically and gave it to his captain. And now Brown runs forward of wing. This is a quick transfer. Look who's in the way.
Danaher.
Old reliable Chris Danaher. He'll just chip it in short to Masidi. Gee, must be building up the stats, Bondi. Masidi.
Joe Masidi, Shane, 5 marks, 15 kicks, 5 hand passes.
Playing on Gavin Brown. That's unbelievable. And he's chipped it short. Found Denham, whose stats must be looking okay too, Bondi, for forward care.
8 kicks and 6 hand passes to Sean Denham.
To a relatively quiet James Hird in this quarter anyway. Couldn't take the mark. Right roved it. Drove very high. Gavin Brown leapt for it. Tried to mark over O'Connor. Free kick to Collingwood. O'Connor. tackling Paul Williams without the footy. Right in front of the Crown Casino sign. There are a couple of photographers just sitting in front of it. So Williams drives down to attacking 50. Rockers there. Got Darcy out of the contest. Couldn't take the mark. Spills for Buckley. He loves these. But the kick was ordinary and Wanganeen marked it and gave it to the Cocky.
Cocky won a cracker and got on with the job. 2 bounces, ran to 50 and then fell over with no one within miles of him. He kicked it over the top with a 9-iron to Red Simons. No 15, said the umpire. Play on. Simons hand pass to the Cocky, and the Cocky put it down the throat of Kransberg. Kransberg on the right half-back flank for Essendon, goes towards the centre wing, more forward now. McCurry is there, puckering up and doing it beautifully was Long. Long has got a lead from Fletcher. And Fletcher came out in front of the disciple in Christian. And Christian, all he could see was Fletcher's big mitts putting his hands around the Sharon. So 26 minutes have gone in the second term, and Essendon by 10 points have got a chance to go further ahead with Fletcher. Taken away from Rocker in the first term, who kicked 3. And Darcy, as Sam said, has done a wonderful job by keeping the man Mountain, the Rocker by Baby, kickless in this particular quarter. So here comes Fletcher, and he's kicked a goal. That's one that Collingwood didn't need. Essendon certainly love every moment of that. And on the Crown Casino scoreboard, they go to 9-7-61, and Collingwood are 7-3-45.
Well, that was either Ollerenshaw or McCurry that hit that ball down to who, Shane?
McCurry was tapping down.
Well, we would say that he meant to do that. It looked as though he meant to do it. So rather than mark the ball, and he got it down to Long, and Long kicked the quintessential pass to Fletcher.
Just a dull light to listen to you, Sammy. Here's the bounce in the centre now with Essendon in front by 16 points late in the second quarter. 27 minutes in, and we won't have any more action. So the Bombers' goal came as good as right on the siren. At half-time, Essendon by 16. Not overly convincingly, but they're in front. 9-7-61. Collingwood 7-3-45. And on ANZAC Day 1995, that's on the Crown Casino scoreboard. Here's the Burbler.
So they led by 3 at quarter time. Essendon, they kicked 3 goals 3 in that term to Collingwood's 1 goal 2 to go in the long break. 16 points the good of the Carringbush. For Essendon, 2 goals each to McCurry and Simons, and 1 each to O'Donnell, Hurd, Somerville, Cockatoo, Collins and Fletcher. That is all. And for Collingwood, the big Savaloy Rocker has kicked 3, and 1 each to Williams, Buckley, James and Walker. ANZAC Day round 4 completion today, 1995. Essendon by 16 points at half time. Join us relays then. 3AW football across Australia.
Now 3AW.
And Brown across that middle, because those 3 players haven't played well at all, and we know what sort of players they are, and they can certainly bring Collingwood back into this game.
Thank you, Dipper. Third quarter about to get underway. Umpire Tim Pfeiffer, a South Australian, a prosecutor in the police force, is about to direct us to a start.
Umpire Tim Pfeiffer puts it down, knocked out by Moncourt, straight to Hassel. Collingwood inside 50, Rocker nearly grabbed it. He hand passed it beautifully off to Williams, and Williams has gone behind the stick. That all happened in 13 seconds in the third quarter, and Collingwood 7-3-45 now. Trail Essendon 9-7-61 on the home hardware scoreboard, Sam.
Oh, just turn that on. Well, he overcooked that, Williams, so brought it round his body. Nice to see Brereton back on the ground again, because if Collingwood are going to win this game, they've got to have someone who knows how to play on the forward line, and at this stage, beside Rocker, no one does.
So Darcy found Fraser, who hand passed Wanganeen. Beautiful measured kick, Wanganeen to Ollerenshaw on wing. Marked it and took the bounce and kicked a mongrel finger breaker that fell into the hands of Grenvold. Grenvold turned on a sixpence. He's got Kransberg if he wants him. Kransberg nearly got enough of it. Playing to the umpire. Chris Danaher hand pass to Fletcher. Fletcher got dispossessed. Picked up Krasiska, went for Watson, and the football went over the boundary line and out of play.
So the home hardware scoreboard, 1 minute and a quarter into the third quarter of this match of the round on ANZAC Day in front of 90,000. Essendon 61 and Collingwood 46. First goal in this quarter pretty essential. Monkhurst thumped it away. Ollerenshaw grabbed it, dragged to the ground in a good tackle. Falls out to right, close to the boundary, 50 from Essendon goals. Turns it round the corner for Buckley. Good spoil, Fraser. Buckley just beat off Joe Mercedes. Oh, inspirational stuff. Then beat Wanganeen. Gave it to McGuan on the wing. And McGuan kicks down to Williams. Up he goes. Couldn't take the mark. Good late spoil, O'Donnell. Harvey tackles Walker. O'Connor goes in. Walker tries to parry it back behind him. Brereton's on his own at centre half forward. No one's seen him. It's on the boundary. Has McGuan got the vision? No, he's gone for the goal square. Dermy's caught behind. It falls for Rocker. And he's dribbled it through. Sav's got 4. And that all-important goal in the Premiership quarter, the first goal, goes to Collingwood, who are 8-4-52. Essendon 9-7-61 on the home hardware scoreboard. Sam?
I would venture to say, Peter, Collingwood haven't had a system on their forward line for 10 years.
Oh,
even
tell
when
me
you were
about
playing.
it, Sam. Tell me about it.
You've got to have some different method of trying to score goals than just blazing away.
So the football back into the arms of umpire Rowan Saws. Thumped away by Alessio. Brown versus Denham. Brown hand pass into open territory. Hassel came through like a very fast train. The cocky tapped it on in front of himself and then hand pass to Oleran Shaw. Oleran Shaw from 50 sold the dummy, took a bounce, ran around there from Wild and kicked a high giraffe kick. Right over the top there is Heard, but the football has been conceded behind the stick. And in the 3-minute mark of the third term, Essendon 9-8-62. 10 points up on Collingwood, 8-4-52. Rocker's got 4 for Collingwood. McCurry and Simons 2 each for Essendon. As at the punt road end, the Disciple kicks a low trajectory kick. Christian beautifully to Buckley. Buckley marks it centre half back on the punt road side. Gets it out to mighty Mick McGuan, who breaks after the mark. 2 bounces, sees him run to 50. He lines up a long goal. Magnificent goal, McGuan. Mighty Mick McGuan has done it again and has lighted the fire. He's got them going, Collingwood. He's just inspirational. He's dead on his feet sometimes with those groins. But Collingwood are now 9-4-58. They trail by 4 points. Essendon 9-8-62. Home hardware scoreboard.
Christian drove that ball straight up the centre of the ground to a nice lead from Buckley, who saw McGuan break. McGuan read the play, knew Buckley was going to get it and did the rest. Ran down the outer wing and kicked truly.
Well, Collingwood coming back hard here as Alessio gets it down to Denham, who gives it to Long, who gives it to Fraser. All good handballs. Fraser looking for Fletcher. Kelly over the top, but Long roads it. No, it's the cocky. And he's banged it through for his second. Oh, that was super roving. Home hardware scoreboard. Essendon 10-8-68. Collingwood 9-4-58. 4 minutes, third quarter.
Well, it's a fantastic game of football. Actually, we weren't able to mention, but McGuan's goal earlier was kicked on Mazzidi. Now, Brown has gone in after a very lax first half. He's in the middle of the ground now. McGuan has now taken over the wingman's role, and he finds himself on Joe Mazzidi. McGuan doing quite well with that goal, but a great counter knock from Essendon.
Bang goes the bounce for umpire Aaron Coates. Knocked out there by Monkhorst. He got it out. Long versus right. Long on the bottom of the pack. Hassel's hand pass was errant. It went to Brown. And B-R-O-W-N, the captain of Collingwood, hit a rocker. Punched away Darcy. Wanganeen did it beautifully with a hand pass to Darcy. Darcy up the right half-back flank. Got it onto Alessio, who marked it in front of the ANZAC sign. A low trajectory kick goes into the lead of McCurry. McCurry to the cockatoo. Cocky wanted a cracker and turned and went for home. James Heard, nearly a one-hander. Play on, said the umpire. Stacks on the mill. And Sam went, oh.
You couldn't pay that, Sam, could you?
Well, I tell you what, I'd pay that a lot. No, you could not. I'd pay that a lot before I'd pay the last one that someone dropped down there.
So at the bounce, Heard actually took it out of the air. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked this. No, he's missed it. From 45, he beat Monkhorst in ruck. He then ran away from the Rovers and snapped and missed.
I wish people could see your face every time an Essendon player gets it. You are feeling every kick, every mark, every handball.
You're biased. You've got to be unbiased, Shane.
Oh, I'm trying to be. I hope I'm being. I'm enjoying the game. It's fantastic. Heard's stuff there was just sensational. At the kick out, Cransburg gets the tap away from Monkhorst. Grenville won it, gave it to Fletcher, who hand passed on to Mercedes, being worried out of it. Goes back to Fletcher. Now it goes to Cransburg. He's on his way. He's forward of attacking 50 and no pressure. He's bent a left footer, but left footer from the left side. It's very hard to kick him from there. And the Bombers go to 10-10-70 and even 2 goals in front of the mighty Woodsman Daicos. 9-4-58. You must be enjoying it.
Well, it's been a great game, but that was great play. Let's just make mention of Cockatoo Collins, who was able to shepherd off a Collingwood player and allow Cransburg, more importantly, to have that shot for goal. Very important in this game.
So the Disciple Christian outside 50, punched away. Cransburg came down Krasiska. Beautiful tackle by Denham, lucky to get away. Krasiska. Hand passed out towards mighty Mick McGuan. He tapped it across back to Krasiska. A worm burner went to the wing position. Coming out wild. Did it beautifully to Buckley. Buckley picked it up just in time. Here comes Rocker. Over the top goes Williams. And coming in. Oh, it's a goal to Collingwood. James. He's kicked it, James. That's his second. I was watching Williams, but James came from behind like he did last time they were up that end. And Collingwood to 10-4-64. Within a goal now of Essendon, 10-10-70. That is nearly 8 minutes, third term Home Hardware scoreboard.
People will say the worm burner you called, and I know you didn't call it like this, was a bad kick, but it was a sensational kick by Krasiska because he kicked it under the pack coming to him, and Buckley got it and kicked it down to Collingwood's forward line, and they got a goal.
So only a goal the difference. Long gets first clear punch out of the centre, but straight to Gavin Brown, who looks for Williams. O'Donnell can't spoil. Pay the mark to Williams. Oh, and Hassel wanted to go on there. Forward of centre here, the Magpies. Another one on their level. 8 minutes, third quarter. Paul Williams, 2 kicks from goal. Puts it to the front of the square. Look out for Rocker. Oh, O'Connor flew over the pack. Took a delightful mark. Horrible hand pass, though. Put Harvey under enormous pressure. Thank goodness for O'Connor. Mercedes was tackled without the footy and will take the free. No doubt about that. Was a lovely mark, Daicos.
Terrific mark by O'Connor. The handball at his feet. Well, firstly, handballing on the back line, and if you're going to handball, you've got to get it right. So it was lucky they got out of this with a free kick.
Buckley's had a say in every Collingwood goal so far this quarter, having a big quarter as O'Connor now receives from Mercedes, drives around that southern stand side. Taken by the Bombers, and O'Connor's going to clear after receiving from Ola Renshaw. They're just under pressure now every time they kick, and McGuan comes in to take the mark for Collingwood on the wing. So the Magpies in control now for one of the rare times in the match. McGuan's played on, under pressure from Long. Bombs one in the Rocker direction. He's up, and O'Connor late spoil. Ball hits the ground. Feeds out Ola Renshaw, under pressure from Wild. Hand passes along the boundary cleverly. Mercedes or Wanganeen can raffle that. Boundary line beats them, and it's over for a throw-in. How did Buckley's stats look on that forward care sheet, Bondi, this quarter?
He's having a great game. 2 kicks, 2 hand passes this quarter. And the goal umpire's just been replaced. He's limped around the boundary up the race. So he must have been injured in that last goal that was kicked off the ground.
So John Lill now in the white coat has got it. He goes behind the boundary line there. The ball back into play. 50 metres for Collingwood. Half forward. Wanganeen dispossessed. Brown got a hand pass to McGuan. McGuan got a kick down. Brereton. Can he get at the kid? No, he punches it on. Trying to get it going, knocked on there by Darcy. Here comes the kid. He's just out of sorts today, but his presence is felt beautifully by Collingwood. And you never, ever give up on the kid because he just lurks around. And on the Home Hardware scoreboard, Essendon 70, lead Collingwood 64. The ball back into play, knocked out by Rocker. Walker tapped it on, but it went to Darcy of Essendon. He got it to Smoke and Joe Mercedes, who went outside the square to the wing position. Punched away from Hurd by Krasiska. Here comes Wright and Ola Renshaw. Very close to the boundary. In fact, as I speak, it went over the boundary line.
And out of play, and it's 10 minutes, third quarter. How are you reading this, Sam? Collingwood edging back?
Well, they're edging back. I hear what you say about Brereton being out of sorts, or Rex said it, because normally he would have grabbed that ball and had a shot at goal. He just tried to push it back to another Collingwood player. He's got to get himself into the game, Dermot.
Alessio finesses it down to Long, who gave it to O'Donnell. Kick poor from Gary, and Alan Richardson took the mark. Got it across to Shane Watson, Elliot Ness, and he gets it on to McGuan, and now forward to the centre, Wild. Oh, he got out of the Wanganeen tackle. Terrific effort, but then the kick was smothered by Denham, and Wanganeen tidies up. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He was legged. He gave it to Cockatoo Collins. Collingwood's tackling intense now.
That's great football and great umpiring, I reckon.
And there's a new skill in football. While a player's going down to get their hands on the ball, a lot more players are just kicking it off the ground into their own path.
The ball spinning back into play in front of the members' stand. knocked out by Long. There's a free kick for holding on in the ruck against Long. David and Goliath. It went to Monkhorst. The plumber down there. He now kicks it inside 50. Rocker by Baby. And the big Savaloy came out and marked it in front of Darcy. For most people, they would be happy to centre this to the centre of the square. But Rocker will put this probably into the scoring area more than a lot of people could.
I think that's Paul Barber now doing the goal umpiring. He's come down from the southern stand and is actually umpiring now, I think. So nice to see 3AW involved in keeping the score.
Well, it is. Umpire Barber watches Rocker kick from 51 metres. It's a goal! He's got 5, Rocker. When Rocker by Baby swings from the treetops, I tell you what, Collingwood get their act together, and they're now all tied up. 10-10-70 Essendon, 11-4-70 Collingwood, the Carringbush and the Bombers Anzac Day all tied up.
Another beautiful kick by Rocker from an equally good pass by Monkhorst, who was definitely infringed by Long. Long trying to take advantage of the fact that he's not as big as Rocker and held him in the boundary throw-in.
At the bounce, Alessio has been infringed with. Why would Somerville be off the ground all this time, Sam?
I've got no idea. I think they... did I say Rocker before? God, I'm going mad. I thought I meant to say Monkhorst.
No, you said Monkhorst. Here it goes. Long kick Essendon. Cransburg brings Long into the... Cockatoo Collins into the game. 45 from goal. Snap. Tough one. And it floats out of bounds on the full. Scores are level here at the cricket ground. Dead level. Essendon, 16 points to the good at half-time, have been reeled in by this terribly desperate Collingwood side wanting its first win. 11-4-70, 10-10-70. Krasiska brings it back into play. I thought Monkhorst got a shove. He did from Alessio. Collingwood beginning to me just to look slightly the better side now as they run it down that southern stand wing. Oh, Fletcher got up high, couldn't take the mark. Who's down? Walker, held without it, no free kick. Falls to young Burns, who drives. James, all caught up, just couldn't take the mark. Wanganeen dispossessed. It's tough in there. He's lost it to James. Now McGuan, 30 from goal. Hand passes back to James. Under pressure, wobbles one. It's a goal. It's bounced past O'Donnell. Yes! Collingwood's in front. What a fight back. 12-4-76. That's 3 to Brett James. Essendon 10-10-70. 14 minutes, third quarter, and there's nothing like a magpie roar at this crowd at the MCG, Dave.
Exactly right, Shane, nothing like it. But terrific play by James. He's playing that forward pocket position perfectly. He's not flying, and more importantly, he's at the foot of the play. The more times you can get there, averages are on your side.
So they lead by 6 points, the Carringbush. Here they come again. Picked up by Brown in the centre, hand pass to Burns. Burns a little giraffe kick to Buckley, who marks in front of Long. He's on the right wing position. They're going to the main scoreboard or Jollymont Road end of the stadium, and he kicks it into Rocker by Baby. And the big Savaloy came out and just chested the football, and the air conveyance stuck to his ample chest. Tim Darcy under siege at the moment. Rocker's booted 5. Collingwood have come from the clouds. They've booted 5 goals to 1 in this quarter, and 16 minutes ticking away as Rocker now has given those gloves to the St Vincent de Paul, and so he may, as Rocker has kicked 5. Darcy at 42 metres on the mark, so the Savaloy will kick it from 47. Skipping in and goes bang. And he hits the post. It's alive and well football in Melbourne and Australia. And 3AW Home Hardware scoreboard. Collingwood 12 goals, 5-77 Sunset Strip to Essendon 10-10-70, 16 minutes in.
And finally, Sam, Simons and Somerville look like they're going to reappear. Simons on and Somerville about to come on, I think.
Simons come on and has come on and it's gone down to the back line, and so that's unusual for a start.
So Fraser leads up and takes the mark from a short pass from Darcy. Hand pass back to Darcy and he spilled it. James will kick a goal. Gives it to Dermy. He's run into Mercedes. Mercedes saved a goal. Oh, I think it's hit the post. There was a kick off the ground. Mercedes' tackle was sensational. Jason Wild slipped in, tried to get a foot on it. He either kicked the post or the ball struck it. And we're just seeing it in replay now. Dermy was about to kick the goal. Mercedes applied a brilliant tackle, brought Dermy down. Fraser tried to parry it through it, rolled, and Wild kicked it into the post. Unbelievable stuff.
Well, he was wild about that. And the football now kicked out by Darcy. Alessio versus Walker, no dice. Williams of Collingwood got it on hands and knees. Hand passed it out to Wright. Wright went around and kicked it down towards Brown. Brown said the umpire as Greenbold comes off the right half-back flank to Hurd. Hurd on centre wing, marks and breaks to Mercury. Oliver Shaw has got it now on the wing position. Down to Fletcher. And Fletcher's marked it 40 metres out directly in front. He banged one the other end through from this distance. And Fletcher, the son of Ken Fletcher today, has got a chance now of putting Essendon back within 2 points. He's at the punt road end of the stadium. A little bit of a northwesterly at his back. The umpire stands at 50. The man on the mark, the disciple Christian, at 44 metres. And from 47 he's kicked. A goal to Essendon. 2 goals to Dustin Fletcher. 11 goals, 10-76 Essendon. To Collingwood, 12-6-78. Home Hardware scoreboard, 18 minutes.
Well, Christian had committed himself to go the original way that Fletcher was leading, and was keeping his eye as to where he thought Fletcher would be, but Fletcher in the meantime had doubled back, and the kick was centimetre perfect, as Dennis Cometti would say. And Fletcher was left out in his own with Christian in no man's land.
Oh, look, you wonder why you love coming to see an Essendon-Collingwood battle. This has just been terrific from the outset. Walker's manhandled after the bounce, no free kick. It rebounds for Long, who gives it to O'Donnell. He should charge, and he does. Looks up toward his forward line. The kick was poor, though, and Collingwood's able to bring it out of defence as Burns combines with Watson and finds McGuan on the members' wing. McGuan's having a good quarter, runs away from O'Donnell. Beautiful pass, and Dermy's out in front of Darcy and takes the mark. Dermy 60 from goal. He'll put this in the square. Now he decides to put it out front. Sav's got to jump over Somerville, who made terrific position there, realising what Brereton might do. He spent half the third quarter off the ground. Only Kevin Sheedy knows why. And Somerville now from centre half back brings it wide to Hurd, who's got Krasiska thumping from the back. Hassel roved it better than Long, and then tried to tap it across to Buckley, who hand pass backwards to Krasiska. 70 from Collingwood's goal. Krasiska into the pocket. Brereton. Terrific diving mark. And you wouldn't say he can't kick this. 45 out on the boundary under the southern stand.
Well, now he's certainly lifted Brereton. He's put his body into the game, which is his greatest asset, and I think he's either going to drop it in the square or try and obviously kick a goal, because all the leads have been covered by now, surely.
Well, there's a little lead in here from Wild, but Dermy's just gone back. He's down at the city end. He's in the left pocket. The right foot kick. Oh, they love it. They love it, the Collingwood supporters. You star, Dermy. What a ripper. What a pressure goal. 13-6-84 to 11-10-76. And how much must Rocker be learning out of playing next to a guy like that? Every time I look, Brereton's talking to him, Sam Daicos.
Well, he's certainly been down, Brereton, but pride would be the only thing making him do this sort of stuff, because he got the Bronx cheers when he took that mark earlier, and now he's got his, I say, his very strong and powerful body, which is a redundant one of those, Shane, into the action.
Ball back into the centre. Here come Essendon with Big Somerville getting it to the right half forward flank, looking for Alessio versus Christian. Hurd Krasiska. A worm burner out towards the wing position, and it bounces and bounces onto the Crown Casino sign. And on the Home Hardware scoreboard, Collingwood 13-6-84, lead Essendon 11-10-76.
Now Darcy down onto Brereton. I think possibly Sheedy thinks they need someone more mobile, because he started to lead a bit, so Darcy now playing on Brereton.
Centre wing out of side of the ground, knocked out Alessio, knocked on by Brown to Monkhorst, put it across his body. Here comes Williams, trapped it beautifully for Collingwood. Hand pass to Hassel. Hassel ran around and kicked it inside towards Rocker, but little Brett James has come in and taken a mark in front of Red Simons. He's 40 metres out directly in front, and this has been a marvellous quarter by Collingwood. They have kicked 6 goals 3 to Essendon's 2 goals 3. and they can really put their stamp on this game on Anzac Day here today.
He's been a very handy player for Sheedy, is Darcy. He's a jack of all trades, plugging up the gaps.
So Brett James runs through 50 to 47, and it's gone behind the stick. I think it has, for one behind, signalled by Paul Barber. And Collingwood 13 goals, 7, 85 to Essendon 11, 10, 76. 9 points in it, Kitty, on the home hardware scoreboard.
Fabulous battle as Grenfold leads out and marks at the kick out. Below the Smokers stand on defensive 50. Bombers attacking to the punt road. Puts in a high one that'll be hard for Mercury to mark. But he did terrifically in front of young Burns.
And you can bet your life Harvey's about to come off. He's injured, been limping around for 10 minutes.
Might give Walker a chance to get into the game. Hurd flies spectacularly. Ball hits the ground. Mercedes gone a little bit quieter this quarter, Bondi. Am I imagining that or not?
No, Mick McGuan has picked up 6 kicks and 3 hand passes and 4 marks on Joe Mercedes, who's only had 3 touches for the quarter.
And Harvey off for Cransburg.
So that might give young Walker a chance. He's been dominated today. From the throw in on the wing, Denham takes it, didn't look, gave it straight to Christian. Somerville had led, or Alessio had led the other way. Hand pass off now, and Richardson drives from half-back flank down along the wing. A chance now for the Magpies. Can the young fellow come in here? That's the boy in Wild. Couldn't pick it up. Wanganeen taps it over the boundary line, right below our broadcast point here on the wing. Oh, it's a fabulous battle. 23 minutes, third quarter. Collingwood 13-7, 85. Off the ball, McGuan's been held by Mercedes. 85 Collingwood, Essendon 76 on the home hardware scoreboard.
McGuan to the kid, Brereton couldn't take it. Hand pass by Denham was an underground job. And the umpire's now given someone a free kick against Brereton, and it's going to go to Barry Young. So Barry Young copped one across the cranium from the kid. Umpire Rowan Saws just puts his arms up and says to the kid, well, play the game and I'll give you the kicks. The kid is lifted, there's no doubt about that. Young to wing, down Monkhorst versus Somerville. Alan Richardson comes out but was dispossessed. His legs went from under him and the football went over the boundary line and out of bounds.
He made a terrific effort to mark that ball. Brereton must have been very close to being paid, and perhaps the frustration he gave Young just a tap on the old cranium just to see if the brain was in action.
The ball spins back into play, knocked on by Somerville. Went to Alan Richardson, measured the kick for the Elliott Ness boy Watson. Inboard rocker, he can't take the mark. Brett James tackles O'Connor. Play on, said the umpire. Wanganeen, hand pass Red Simons, tackle Brereton. It's tough, it's rugged football. Mercedes hand pass Denham, Gray on to the umpire. Got it across to McGuan. McGuan put it up in the air. Wanganeen will rate Brereton. Couldn't take it, but Simons did. This is tough stuff. As Simons went out looking further afield for Laurel and Shaw, and the football went over the boundary line.
And out of play. Was there a free kick to Collingwood in all that, Sam Newman, as they boo?
No, I don't think so. I think we say let the game go unless there's an obvious free kick, and Brereton certainly put himself into the action. He's knocked over 2 or 3 down there in his attempt to get the ball, I might add.
Yeah, I think the closest one might have been Barry Young. They wanted it for holding the ball. It didn't come, and Oller and Shaw and O'Donnell combined. Out of the Bombers' defence, O'Donnell didn't go very hard at that one. Burns did. He won the footy and gave it to Watson, forward of centre. Kicks it now, down to the forward line. It's a good Essendon mark. And I'll just see as a Grenvold who's going to get up.
Yep.
The experienced David Grenvold. Well, they're under siege here, Essendon. They're down by 9 points after leading by 16 at half-time. There's a good mark to the Bombers out on half-back flank. And it's Mercury. He's a terrific grab. His kick's ordinary. Burns is marked. Southern stand wing. Collingwood about to come back into attack again. They'd love one before lemon time. Walker in front. Cransburg from behind. Grenvold tries to tidy up, but it's over for a throw-in. 50 metres out from Collingwood's goal. Down to the main scoreboard or city end of the MCG in front of 90,000. 26 minutes, third quarter, home hardware scoreboard. Collingwood 13-7-85, leading Essendon now 11-10-76.
Ball back into play, right half-back flank, Essendon. Fraser got a kick that pummeled over towards the boundary line. In fact, as I speak, went over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Well, Collingwood, the biggest difference in this quarter so far is they're just moving the ball a hell of a lot quicker into the forward line. And the other move has been Hassel onto Long, who Long did some damage in that second quarter. He's been a very good player, Hassel.
Collingwood lead by 9 points, knocked out by Monkhorst, went out to Alan Richardson. He turned on a sixpence and banged it back towards the half-forward line, looking for Williams, who marked it in front of the ANZAC sign. He's starting to point like a traffic policeman, calling for the football further afield. Here's Brereton and Rocker. Look. The big Savaloy had his name written over it, but the presence of Brereton, I reckon, assisted Rocker again.
He did it well.
He is so experienced, Brereton. We don't want to give him too much credit, but look, he led O'Connor to the ball. He then hesitated, didn't shepherd, but certainly held him back for the ball, and I suppose he anticipated that Rocker might be there or thereabouts, and the big full forward for Collingwood came through with Brereton holding 2 or 3 back.
It'd be like Sam Newman teaching a young kid on the block all about the meat market. That's the way that I put it as Rocker now from 50, and he has scored a goal. He has got 6 magnificent goals, the Savaloy. Brereton punches the air because he knows the kid had a presence for the young man, and he raised his hands in unison with Brereton for Collingwood's 14th goal. 14-7-91 and Essendon 11-10-76. It's been an avalanche. 7-goal quarter for the Carrying Bush.
Oh, haven't they looked good, Peter Daicos? You must be loving this.
Been very good, Shane. I got to add to that, they're just moving the ball better in the forward line, quicker.
5 for bounces. Ola Renshaw gets first possession, straight up, straight down. Alan Richardson marks. Essendon's half-forward line non-existent at the moment as Richardson chips across to Monkhorst. Yes, he'll just mark in front of Alessio or Somerville, who was running at him. Now the hand pass on to Graeme Wright. Look at him burst down this member's wing. The pass is there. Rocker again. Yes! O'Connor got maybe a fist on it, but you'd have to pay the mark. And Rocker's toughest shot of the day coming up. He will be shooting from just outside 50 on a 45-degree angle, members side to City end.
Now Sheedy's going to be torn between whether he takes Darcy off Brereton and puts him onto Rocker to try and stop him, because Rocker, beside playing well today, has kicked exceptionally.
6 goals to Rocker. That equals last week's effort. This is his toughest one of the day. And it's not going to score. Brereton is there. Can't bring it down. And Essendon's going to clear. Wanganeen combines with Barry Young. He brings it wide. It's only Mickey McGuan out here. Will it stay in for Mighty Mick? I think he did keep it in here on the wing. Well played. Mercedes comes across to put pressure on. Mick's pass is a delight. And Williams is marked right on 50 on the boundary line. We're 29 minutes in. Still time for a Collingwood goal, Rexy.
Great skills by McGuan. Got the ball to Williams in the goal square, but O'Connor has taken a good mark in defence for Essendon. He bangs it out towards Somerville. Somerville's out in front of Buckley and marks it right in front of the Crosno glassware sign. Great supporters of the boys in the morning. And here comes Somerville, gets it across Oleron Shaw. He marks it on the centre wing, got it across to O'Donnell of Essendon. And here comes McKerry, who marks it at centre half forward. He's out in front of Burns now. Turns on a sixpence and kicks a high ball. Fletcher versus Kelly, and Fletcher has taken the mark in the right forward pocket at the Punt Road end of the stadium. And the siren has sounded. Dustin Fletcher has the weight of the Essendon crowd on his shoulders. He's already kicked 2. A marvellous quarter for Collingwood. They kicked 7 goals in that quarter.
Now Brereton has run down right from full forward, right to stand opposite Fletcher to try and harass him.
So Fletcher from 30 metres on an acute angle, and he's kicked it out of bounds on the fall. No, behind the stick. And Fletcher comes to the huddle. There's a go on between Somerville and McGuan, pushing with Monkhorst. The umpires go in. There's not a lot in it. The crowd loving every moment. And Tony Shaw's in there telling them to break it up. Well, that's like Rexy telling a school of trout to go forth and multiply and don't take his bait. It was just a joke.
Well, Cransburg gone to centre half back. Brereton taken on the elder statesman-like role down at Collingwood. He ran from the full forward line to the full back line to try and put Fletcher off. And when the ball was missed and the siren went, he urged all the Collingwood players to come up to Lee Matthews, and a bit of a tangle going on there between Somerville and Monkhorst. So this first bounce should be a clinker, Peter.
Well, if they can't win it from here, they'll never win it. Their confidence is up. Great 7-goal quarter. McGuan did a terrific job on Mazzidi. Rock has been tremendous. 6 goals, 3 in that quarter. It's all running their way.
Now 3AW's Match of the Day, 1278. 3AW, talking football.
Welcome relays for the last quarter. ANZAC Day football to complete round 4. Collingwood in front by 14 points. As umpire Andrew Coates has got the footy and slams it down into the ring. Going up there, Monkhorst got it down, Hassel, but Ollerenshaw picked it up and hand pass, quick hands to O'Donnell. A junior giraffe kick out into the open spaces of the wing position. Here comes Simons of Essendon. Hand passed over the top to Denham. He ran to right half forward. He's kicked it inboard. Thumped away beautifully by Watson of Collingwood into the maze of seats that have been occupied by this capacity crowd here this afternoon. And the football's over the boundary line, 40 metres around from the Essendon goal at the main scoreboard end. The ball on its circumvolution back into the stadium. No one got the knockout, but Denham was allowed to pick it up. He put a finger-breaking punt down in towards the goal square. Kelly has been interfered with by Fletcher. Fletcher got over the top of Ned's shoulder, and it was an over-the-shoulder bowler holder that the umpire thought wasn't within the rules. And Ned Kelly, the man, is going to relieve for Collingwood.
Yeah, played a pretty good game too, Kelly, as he goes wide. No mark out there. Fraser doing a bit of harassing. Bombers get numbers over there. Umpire says no free kick to Collingwood here. Rowan Saws picking out one there from a maze of players.
Could be Brown.
And it is Gavin Brown. He had a bad first half. Has lifted since the break, as has Buckley, as has McGuan. No coincidence Collingwood fires when those players are going. Brown down the wing. Cransburg backs himself. Comes out in front of Lee Walker. Takes a nice mark. Essendon's just lost it zip for the moment. Lost that run that it had in the first half. One of those sweeping left footers from Cransburg. Fletcher leaps, can't take the mark. Who stays down? Watson stays down. Nicely done. Opens up the game, but a shocking kick makes life tough for Christian. He wins it though well on the back of the square and hand passes to Richardson, who darts around Simons and chips short. Collingwood playing the better footy, and Hassel's got it now. Right on the centre line for Collingwood. Brereton not giving him too much action. He's saying go long to Rocker, Johnny Hassel. So the boy from Warrandyte kicks it down beyond 50. Rocker's going to jump. Feigned for a free kick, it didn't come. Cockatoo Collins read it best. At the back of the square, has got it. Thought about a short chip to Mercury. In the end, look for James Hurd, who fell over. Francisca just toe poked it out of his fingers. And now the game opens up for the Maggies. They've got a great chance here with Buckley, Rex.
Buckley took the mark, fell over, got up, hand passed inboard to right. He's on 50, puts a high ball down. Rocker's got to beat 2. Going up Somerville, the ball spills clear. O'Connor of Essendon versus young Brett James of Collingwood, and the football concedes behind the stick for a minor score. And Collingwood 14-8-92. Leading Essendon 11-11-77. And this is 3AW football on the Synovus Vitamin scoreboard around Australia, as Cransburg accepts a nice pass from Darcy. Cransburg now on the left boot, brings it out towards the half-back line. Leading in the race to the ball, Hurd got a fingernail to it. Ollerenshaw is tackled by James, and Aaron James is going to take the free kick after it was deemed to be deliberately out of bounds. So Aaron James kicks it inside 50, looking for Brett James, and Rocker!
What a mark!
Has taken a magnificent mark! He was higher than Joe Cocker, and Rocker at 17 stone 6 has taken an absolute pearler. And there's nothing better than that, to see a man like a big elephant flying through the air at the circus, and Rocker has taken the pearler of the match. He's kicked 6 goals. He now lines it up and must be composed as he goes in on a 45-degree angle at the punt road end of the stadium, and he's missed it. What a shame. There's no justice, they say. And Collingwood are 14-9-93. Essendon 11,777. And the Collingwood Football Club raffle winning ticket is 20,602.
And there's about 4 times that many people here. There's about 80 to 90,000. I reckon Collingwood would have won the game if that had have gone through. Essendon breathes again. And a good mark to Somerville at the kick out, not paid. Hand passes to Denham. Game opens up as he gives it to Waller and Shaw. Hand passes now to Cockatoo. Collins under enormous pressure, but he's got speed. He races away down this member's wing and he's away. He looks at the options. James Hurd's in great position. He's only got Krasiska to beat. Great spoil, Gavin.
Great game, Krasiska.
He's actually beaten Hurd on the day.
After quarter time, he's done a tremendous job. Hurd had a very good first quarter, if you remember, marked everything, gave him the option, but Krasiska's put him right out of business.
We know Essendon can come home with a wet sail. They're only just under 3 goals down. Rocker could have really opened it up there a moment ago. Bombers still within touch at the throw-in. Collingwood players desperately, led by their captain Gavin Brown, just force it over the boundary line for a throw-in. This time, rather than being 40 metres from the Essendon goal, it's 60 away. Right in front of just an engrossed smokers stand. There's not a spare seat in the house here. There's the throw-in. Monkhurst got his body in front. Well done. Mercury roved it. That was nicely done too. Across to Denham. Tries to force his way through the traffic. Couldn't do so. Hassel grabbed it and gave it to McGuan, who's knocked up, getting kicked since half-time. A little bit lucky. That one almost fell to Buckley. In goes Wild. Wanganeen beat him. Brilliant stuff, Gavin Wanganeen. Chipped short but missed his target. Unusual mistake, and Collingwood's right grabs it. Members wing and drives long on left foot.
Looking for Williams. Beautiful play. Grenvold couldn't take it. Puckered up beautifully and ran off him. He's got a short kick on Denham. Brereton can't touch it. Denham marked hand pass. Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Render forward, goes over the top, slipping over Burns of Collingwood. Alessio came through, balls at the crowd, and your boots at the umpire. Tapped on by Ned Kelly. It came out to Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Good tackle, but Watson has marked it on the half-back line. And Elliot Ness has certainly no need for a machine gun, this Watson. He's as mean as they come, and he's as mean now as he kicks it outside 50. He's looking for Ned Kelly, and Kelly goes up and takes a mark on the left half-back flank for Collingwood in front of the smokers stand, who are not smoking, but Mercedes is.
And Mercedes drives to the centre with a beautifully weighted kick, which Aaron James has marked in front of Peter Cransberg. Lee Walker off the ground. He's let go with a big bomb. Rockers out in front of O'Connor. O'Connor spoils. Who's down? Buckley. Now that's dangerous. There's an unguarded goal. Gavin Brown's on his own. Can he make it? Buckley's put it close, but it's floated over the boundary line on the full as Brown led into that forward pocket. And so Wanganeen takes the relieving free and gives it to Cocky. Cockatoo Collins runs off defensive 50. Took a long time, drove it down in the Somerville direction. Ball thumped away. Who's down? Ryan O'Connor beaten for it. Well done, Buckley gave it to Christian. Christian 80 from goal. Chip short. Oh, gee whiz, that should be a free kick to Collingwood. It is to Gavin Brown. Gary O'Donnell, a little bit rattled, just flew straight over the top like Superman. And Gavin Brown might nearly be a chance here. He's just outside 50. Oh, Rocker's on a terrific lead. And he's marked 35 out. Now, I don't reckon Essendon's playing like a side that can turn this around, Sam. But I reckon if Rocker kicks this, it might nearly be good night nurse. What's your thoughts?
Well, it should have been possibly good night nurse in the last one he missed from at the 5-minute mark, but Tony Shaw, the next coach of Collingwood, is doing nothing more than barracking out on the ground. He's been out under the pretense of making about 8 or 9 moves, but is out there just doing the urging. Come back now to make it look legitimate, but doing nothing more under the instructions of Matthews to get out there and do a bit of urging.
Rocker Collingwood supporters is 45 out right in front for number 7. Got it. And the Maggies might be on their way here. 7 to Rocker out of 15.9.99. Essendon 11.11.77. 8 minutes last quarter. So Novus Vitamins scoreboard. Let's put the show on the other foot, Sam Newman. Essendon, what have they got to do? Is there anything they can do?
I think they've got to either get Alessio or Somerville to make an assault on Monkhorst. Not that he's had tremendous advantage out of the centre, but it starts there, and they have to get the ball down quickly as they can. But I mean, these are basic instructions that you try and do just to win a game anyhow.
8.5 in. Somerville got it to Denham. Denham kicked it, but Watson took a beautiful mark over the top of Young. Watson now goes out towards a lead from Wild. Can't take it for Collingwood. Red Simons in front of Wanganeen. Hand pass Wanganeen intercepted by Brown. Brown playing his 100th game has kicked an 80-metre kick. 40 up and 40 down. A genuine giraffe kick fell into the arms of O'Donnell. Then Denham. Denham got it across to Simons. Back to O'Donnell in front of the Ansett sign. Down to Alessio, who took a one-handed mark over Alan Richardson. He's got a lead in there from O'Donnell. O'Donnell was right the first time. O'Connor.
And let's have a look at this mark, Rex, because that's probably a mark, I suppose.
He held it for
very close.
A good second and a half before Hurd knocked it out.
I think the thing is, Shane, that's right. Whether it was bumped out by the opposition or he dropped it, I think it was bumped out.
So he's played 6 matches. He is yet to kick a goal this year. He's going for his 4th goal of his career, and I reckon that's not a very good shot. He has missed it. Paul Barber, obviously short of a run, didn't go the other side. He just thought, well, it's behind the stick.
Would he be here?
And Collingwood 15-9, 99, Essendon 11, 12, 78. St Ova's Vitamin scoreboard as the mark has been taken by James Hurd.
How many marks Hurd today, Bondi, on that Ford Care stat sheet?
3 in the first quarter, Shane. Only 1 in each of the following quarters, giving him 6 for the game.
It was a lovely grab, that one. Chance now for the Bombers. And Young goes up. Thought he'd grabbed it. O'Connor gives it to the Cocky. 40 out. Snaps for goal. Essendon mark. Somerville in the goal square. So this will make the margin 15 points when he kicks this through the goals. He just had the better position and the height advantage there over Krasiska. Sheedy's changed things a bit, Sam. He's put O'Connor into the forward line now.
I've given up trying to work out what Kevin Sheedy does on any given minute of any given day.
Yeah, Fletcher back on Rocker, and Darcy still on Brereton. Somerville bangs it through. Essendon 12-12-84. That's his second, Somerville. Spent some of the third quarter on the bench. Collingwood 15-9-99. We know Essendon can make late assaults, Daicos. 15 points, St Ova's Vitamin scoreboard. Your thoughts?
Well, O'Donnell is back into the middle of the ground now. Cockatoo Collins is also there, so they've been 2 very good players. But Moncourt's dominance in that third quarter helped Collingwood, and now Somerville and Alessio are just turning it around a little bit, but they really do need the next goal, without a doubt.
Who?
Here we
Essendon,
go.
Sam.
With umpire Tim Pfeiffer. And here he comes now. Moncourt's knocked it on, but it was taken by Long. Long races to right half forward, going in James Hurd. From behind is Big Somerville. The ball comes to ground. It came into the hands of Barry Young. A gigantic giraffe kick. Red Simons has got to beat 2. He's probably going to not do it because he's got to beat 5 now. And mighty Mick McGuan has conceded the football behind the stick. Collingwood 15-9-99. Essendon at 12-13-85. 14 points the difference. 12 minutes gone in this titanic struggle. ANZAC Day. This is Australian football at its best. On 3AW, right across the best nation in the world.
And on Australia's greatest day, can Australia's greatest football club snag their first win? Gavin Brown gives a great lead from the kick out. It wobbles down southern stand wing and Brown's got it. Beats O'Donnell and looks down here for Brereton. Williams goes in. Couldn't take the mark. It might rebound here. Young Aaron James beaten forward by Darcy, who gives it to Grenvold. Nice play, Essendon. Bring it out of defence. Simons marks in the middle. Now run on, says Somerville. He doesn't run on. Now he draws and gives it to Oller and Shaw. They've reached the half forward line. Oh, the pass is delightful, but a little bit low for Hurd, who tries to keep it in. I'll take that back. The pass looked delightful off the boot, but didn't reach its target, and it's wobbled over for a throw-in. Sam Newman.
Well, I think at this stage, maybe drive it down to the forward line and give one of the bigger players down there, like O'Connor or Somerville, a chance to mark the ball.
Knocked out by Moncourse. The hand pass went to Smoke and Joe Mercedes to the edge of the goal square, and Barry Young has marked it over Watson. It is not over by any stretch of the string at this particular juncture. 13 and a half minutes have ticked away in the last term, and Barry Young, via the edge of the goal square, has accepted the air conveyance on behalf of the Essendon Football Club and will line it up from point blank range. Bang! It is home. Here come Essendon. The Bombers are on fire. They're
Somerville and Alessio at various stages down on the forward line, and Young and O'Connor. I can't see the value of chipping the ball short if you've got them down there because they're talls. Why not kick the thing down there like they just did then and see if they can grab it out of the air?
14 minutes final stands at Collingwood by 8 points. The game turning again as the Bombers make a late surge. There's the bounce and Monkhurst got the tap down. Long's tackle on Brown, sensational. He's doing some great work and Somerville charges out. Gives it to O'Donnell, a big long left footer. That's what you wanted, Sammy. Who's got it? Simon's one bite. Couldn't take the mark. And well played, young Burns, but he's kicked it out on the full. He was dragged down by Ryan O'Connor as he kicked.
And Olorenshaw on a left footer, right side.
Well picked up Daicos, but he's on 55. Not much room to kick.
And Mickey McGuan just cribbing.
He has cribbed a bit.
Cribbing.
No. So, Olorenshaw, big long left footer to the front of the goals. James Hurd's there. Oh my goodness! Cockatoo Collins has leapt over the back and taken a classic. And he's 25 outright in front. Describe it to us, Sammy.
Well, he took a terrific run at the ball, and when I said get it down because they got some talls there, he would be the last person I think would be jumping over the back of the pack to take a mark, but he had a terrific run, and a la Rocker down there got the knee onto his opponent's shoulder, and now all he has to do, and I don't underestimate the difficulty of this, all he has to do is kick it from 30 metres straight in front.
Essendon's missed a few easy ones today, but this is home. The Cockies got 3. And now there's 2 points the difference. And it's warming up here. 99 to 97 in front of 90,000. Here's Peter Daicos, the former Collingwood superstar.
Well, this game has been swayed back into Essendon's favour. Longy's been terrific. Che Cockatoo Collins, he's been a fantastic player. But really, I mean, you can never, ever discard Essendon, or more importantly, Kevin Sheedy. They've done it once more, they're running, and as Sam Newman says, they're kicking long into the forward line, they've been able to get it.
They're under siege, the Carringbush. We'll see what they're made of, and it'll be plenty. Here comes the Brown, hand pass to Hassel. Kicked it down to half forward, but Wanganeen over the top of young Jason Wild has taken a nice mark to repel that attack. He goes along the outer wing position, looking for Young, can't take it. Watson right on his hammer. It went out to Kransberg and it went over the boundary line and out of bounds. We've seen magnificent skills today in the greatest game on earth between two of the best clubs in the competition. 90,000 people cheering their lungs out. It came out to Burns of Collingwood. He went to hand pass to Buckley, taken by the Cocky to centre half forward, and it's marked by Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Mercedes now just on the forward side of centre square. It goes down towards Somerville. Punched away by Monkhorst. It came out through McGuan's legs. Hurd's picked it up. He's run around. Hand pass to Soke and Joe Mercedes. From 50 metres, he put it on its way behind the stick, and there's 1 point in it. There is 1 point in this game. Essendon 14-15, 14-14, 98. Collingwood 15-9, 3AW Football, Sun Overs, Vitamin Scoreboard.
Don't ever try and argue there's a better sport than this anywhere in the world. Hurd's up and couldn't take the mark, but Simons has got it at the kick out. He overran it, but Olorenshaw gave it to Alessio. They're on their way, the Bombers, to Mercedes. 70 from goal near the boundary. The leader's good, and O'Connor has got it. Collingwood stopped, and Hurd's on his own in the pocket, but no. Kelly and Richardson come across and cover him. I'll paint the picture here. O'Connor will kick from inside 50. On a 60-degree angle from Members side to City end. He's a right footer from the right pocket. Not a simple shot. It's gone across the face. It's going to be a score, and the scores are level at the MCG. Nightmare City for Lee Matthews after West Coast stole one a fortnight ago. Maybe Essendon is going to steal this. 18 minutes last quarter, dead level. Sam Newman.
So I suppose Collingwood now have got to ask for a big effort from Buckley and McGuan, who got them back into it. And I'd still like to see Brereton when it gets down there. All he's been doing is throwing his weight around in very, very temperate fashion, incidentally. Nothing indiscriminate about it. But they've got to get some runners because they don't quite have the goal-to-goal players to win this game on its merits. They're going to have to graft to win if they get it.
So Kelly goes long outside 50 looking for Christian. Couldn't take it. He knocked it on. Picked up by O'Donnell of Essendon. Hand pass to the Cockatoo. Collins to cross to McCurry. McCurry marks it centre half forward.
Oh, long.
McCurry marks it at centre half forward. He may be just a little bit too far out to score, and he's going to go short. To Olorenshaw. They couldn't pick him up. And Shaw will score from here. He marks the mark, so he knows if he's cribbing a little bit. And Shaw, yet to kick a goal today, could kick the most important goal in his career. That has been very, very good at this stage, including a premiership. So Shaw puts it on its way for a goal. Magnificent comeback by Essendon. Shaw gets their 15th goal. And the Bombers are a goal in front, 15-15 to 15-9.
And have a look at the flags, the Essendon flags. There's about 60,000 of them, I reckon, around the stadium. Collingwood almost dead on their feet, not necessarily physically, but I think spiritually and mentally are not quite with this game at the minute. They've been outplayed and outthought so far.
And Cockatoo Collins is just absolutely playing a blinding last quarter. I think he's had every centre square clearance himself, and he gets this one as well. Across to Shaw, who got a bad bounce, was still good enough to get it. Panicked though, hand pass for the boundary. Followed up when Grenbold overran it, then gave it to Grenbold. Good handball. He runs along Member's wing. Somerville says, go boy, go. He looks down toward Alessio, who took young Burns high.
Now there's an interesting...
ridiculous.
Somerville shepherded McGuan. It was actually an unnecessary shepherd, Peter.
But he's run into it, Sam. He's run into it.
I think the experience of McGuan, he kept running and ran into Somerville, who didn't try and evade him.
McGuan from centre wing goes to half forward. Monkhorst has got to do something. Plown said the umpire. James's tackle. It came out to Brereton, who cut it across towards Williams. Williams hand passed it on to Jason Wild. He ran into McCurry. The Cockatoo Collins was there. And the Cocky's been just magnificent in this last quarter, Graham Bond.
He's had 8 kicks, 1 hand pass, 2 marks and a goal in the final stage.
The Redcoats are coming to circle this arena as the ball comes spinning back into play. Knocked out by Monkhorst, knocked further afield and kicked off by McCurry. And the football went over the boundary line.
And out of play. 21 minutes last quarter, St Ova's Vitamin scoreboard. 15-15 the Bombers, 15-9 the Magpies, who got out to a 3.5 goal lead just 10 minutes ago. They looked home when Rocker kicked his 7th. Now Monkhorst parries it down, but it's going to wobble back over before Gavin Brown, Ricky Olorenshaw or Mark McCurry can get there. Who else has led the Bomber fight back, Bondi, on that Ford Care stat sheet?
Joe Mercedes, he's picked up another 6 kicks this quarter, and Michael Long out of the middle with 5 touches as well.
So there's the throw in, true Members wing. And we hope you're enjoying it around Australia. Through 8 AJ Ellis Springs as Olorenshaw goes for the boundary. Tony Shaw, I think, might have even been saying to the umpire, what about deliberate? As he races on, gives some message to Monkhorst. The old captain of the Pies talks to young Burns. And we've got a throw in again. And it's always interesting to judge the crowd variety of the Collingwood-Essendon game. I'd reckon about 55-45 Collingwood's way today with the shouting. And Cockatoo Collins carries another one back over the boundary line again. Here's Sam Newman on 3AW footy.
Well, Collingwood and Monkhorst have got to grasp the nettle. It's no good having this go on and running out time. He's got to hit this ball back into the centre of the ground and hope Collingwood players can run onto it.
22.5 minutes have gone. We've played 2.5 in time on. Burns of Collingwood got a hand pass to McGuan. His kick went nowhere. Denham's hand pass went to McCurry. McCurry's been pinged. And here comes John Hassel with a kick. This surely must be their last chance to get the sortie forward. Here comes Hassel inside 50. Down towards Rocker. Rocker, there's a free kick to Rocker.
Oh, I don't believe it.
That is unreal.
That is unreal. That is unreal. I agree with you. There's a free kick to Rocker. 40 metres out directly in front, Sam.
That is just absolute. Look here now. Fletcher has done nothing more than go for that ball on his merits. Rocker has taken his ground, pushed him off the flight of the ball, and because Rocker has gone, what are you saying?
I reckon Fletcher got a hand on his shoulder myself, Sam.
He was straight at it, Shane, straight at the ball.
So Savaloy Rocker by baby. He's kicked 7 goals today. This is a most important moment for this young man. Character will be brought out of this kick, and it is a goal. It is all tied up again. Approaching 24 minutes in this epic struggle.
Oh, Shane. Now, don't...
105 points each. Shut up.
Shut up. Don't give me that, Shane. That is just ridiculous. Free kick.
Football experience.
All Fletcher has done is gone for the ball, had his ground taken, and to give a free kick like that, this is what I say about this game and why sometimes people get infuriated with it.
Look at Buckley, got the first possession out, but he gave it straight to O'Donnell. Long left footer. O'Connor, no, just over his head. It's in the forward pocket, 20 metres from goal. O'Connor leaves it for Hurd. He's got through. He's kicked it. Oh my goodness me. I called him a Rolls Royce earlier. How did he get through the traffic, Sam?
Well, he got through it, Shane, because he had a nice, strong, hot body on top or underneath a very cool, calculating brain, and he never panicked. He just sized the situation up, ducked, put it onto its the check side punt, or kicked a tumble punt, end over end, and screwed it back in for a very nicely measured goal.
I'd love to know who that Collingwood player is running the other way, Sam. Did not run straight at him.
It is still time for Collingwood if they want it. Here comes Brown. 150 games to Jason Wild, diving on it. Wanganeen, cool as you like. Knocked over towards Monkhorst, and the umpire, Tim Pfeiffer, will take the bounce on the outer wing position. 94,000.
That's a ground record.
825 people have come here today. With a magnificent show of fate to the greatest game in the land. There can be only moments left in this titanic struggle. 25 and a half minutes have gone, and Essendon lead by 1 goal. It's on the outer wing position, and now it's bouncing from the bounce, and it went over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Must bring the ball back into the centre. Monkhorst, he's got to hit it back over his head, or they'll run time out on the boundary here.
I'll get the glasses right on the throw in, and he did exactly that, Sam, with a terrific effort down to Buckley. His hand pass didn't get to its target, but he followed up and picked up. Here he comes, Nathan, out of the centre. Rocker's on a terrific lead. Oh, he bumped into Fletcher. Both went down, neither player could mark, and Darcy cleverly wobbles it and wobbles it and wobbles it to the boundary line, and Cransburg carries it over 90 metres from Collingwood's goal. They're attacking to the punt road end. It's on the members' side. That 94,800 or 94,800, that beats the World Cup cricket final easily, I think. Only going off the top, I'm sure that's the best since the New Southern stand, as Mark Mercury ruck roves and thumps it to the boundary. Didn't go out. Everyone stopped. Dermy got a high tackle. That could be an absolute critical moment in the game. They all stopped. Dermy's experience, he went at it. He grabbed it inside the boundary, got a high tackle, and now can send them into attack.
Brereton inside 50 to Rocker from behind. Fletcher tapped on Wanganeen. Look at him go. Stacks on the mill. And the umpire is going to bounce inside 50 for Collingwood. There can only be a matter of moments, seconds to go. And the football now in the arms of the little umpire, Andrew Coates. He now puts it down, knocked out by Monkhorst. It came out to Cockatoo Collins. And here's a mark to Alan Richardson. Richardson on the wing position has kicked it inboard. He gets it out towards the centre of the ground. It's taken by Wright.
Kick it.
There's no time left. Wright goes forward. He's now given it to Christian. Christian runs the half forward.
Zeberio
forward towards Rocker! And Rocker is marked at 25 metres out from goal. It will be a draw. This will be a draw.
I could see him coming. I could see him coming as was it Christian who kicked it? I could see
this
him
will
coming.
be a draw. There is no time left as Rocker, if he kicks this goal, it will be all tied up. And talking to Rocker is Long. Long has been told to go forth and multiply by mighty Mick McGuan. Rocker! Goal to Collingwood. He's kicked 9, the boy. It has got to be a draw. It is Lord Nelson all tied up 111. 28 and a half minutes gone in the most epic struggle that I've seen since last night.
Oh, lovely. Well, a great mark, but that came from Monkhorst on the other side of the ground. hitting that ball back into the centre. It was kicked straight back over to the other side of the ground here, and Brereton, I don't reckon we'll see Brereton play football again, incidentally. He's walking around too gingerly, and he hasn't been injured. I reckon he's got a complaint, but he got the mark over the shoulder and got it down eventually for Rocker to get that mark.
This is it. Somerville sat on Monkhurst. No free kick, and O'Donnell got first possession. He had it robbed. Can Collingwood finally get there? Ball up. They want to holding the ball. It's not coming. Well, we're 29 minutes into the last quarter. Rowan Source could have given a couple of frees there. Probably both to Collingwood.
Look at Shaw. Tony Shaw does not give a message in 3 hours.
Here's the bounce. Somerville's over Monkhurst again. No free. Wright's got it. He's tackled. No free kick. Who can get the possession? Collingwood. Buckley. No better man could have it. It's into the goal area. Where are you, Sav? The ball's thumped away 30 metres from Collingwood's goal, and O'Donnell's going to take it. Now Essendon can break. Long goes wide to the cocky. Here comes Essendon. One last chance, Rex.
And it goes out to Kransberg on the wing position. It's Hurd. Hurd in front of Krasiska. Krasiska cleans up Hurd, but it's taken away by Kelly. He kicks it down towards goal. Over the top there, can't take it. Here's O'Donnell. He hand passes to Long. Long now runs around from Hassel. He gets it off to Denham, but here comes Collingwood. Picked up by Buckley. Marks, runs to half forward, goes down to Rocker. He can't take it. It deserves a draw. It deserves a draw. This is great stuff. The football in Grenville's hands is outside 50, down towards the wing position. The siren sounds on one of the most epic struggles you would ever wish to see. It is an emotional game, and two sides deserve to walk off this ground with their heads held high to the applaudance of 94,820.
94,000 people here. What more can you ask for? Disappointing, I think.
Yeah, I suppose, like both teams had a chance to win it, so you rue the mistakes you might have made during the game that might have got you another goal to win, but I suppose the crowd will go away feeling pretty happy to see.
What sort of feeling are you going through? I mean, if you win, you're happy. If you lose, you're sad. But there's a draw.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of emptiness there, Dibber. I think it won't sink in for about 10 or 15 minutes when we get back in the rooms. But mistakes can go either way. You think you can win. A draw's better than a loss, I suppose, but probably disappointed, yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us, mate. I think the boys are looking for you. Good on you, mate.
Well, we probably have to wait to see what the coach says, because a draw's better than a loss, certainly for Essendon. Well, what about for Collingwood, though? They really needed to get the points. And there's Lee Matthews. He's gathered the whole team in the centre circle.
Drew, if you recall, they started the day that way. At 12:30, they all met in their blazers and met in the middle of the ground, and Lee spoke to them again, and rightfully so. He's got them there again.
Oh, I'd love to know what his attitude to 2 premiership points instead of 4 is. It's a draw here at the MCG in front of 94,825, 17-9 to 16-15.